6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. France, they're moving on to the third straight World Cup semifinal after beating Morocco 2-0 yesterday in Foxborough. Kylian Mbappe tallied his 8th goal of the tournament, tying Lionel Messi for the lead now in the Golden Boot race. Mbappe also added an assist in the game before exiting in the 77th minute with a slight ankle injury. France will face the winner of today's match between Spain and Belgium, which takes place at 2 p.m. on Fox at SoFi Stadium. NBA news yesterday, Kawhi Leonard's trade to the Toronto Raptors is on hold pending the outcome of an NBA investigation into whether the Los Angeles Clippers circumvented salary cap rules. Both teams announced on Thursday. It does not necessarily mean that the trade is off. The Raptors do still want Kawhi Leonard, they said, and the Clippers insist that they are not guilty of any wrongdoing. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning and happy Friday. Ramon Will is on your radios, your smart devices, your 104.5 The Zone app. Kicking off your weekend here in studio. 615-737-1045, the number. Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. ESPN has FPI numbers and probability, win totals, chances to make the playoffs, rankings. Where are the Vols? Where's Vanderbilt? Well, we'll tell you coming up here in just about 20 minutes. Brett Hubbs of VolQuest joins us for his weekly visit, an hour or two at 7:20. Which Titans players could be breakout stars in 2026? We'll talk about that in hour number 3. Plus, Ron Slay here for his weekly visit at 9:20. Crew's all here. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, our producer, myself, Will Bowling on this rainy Friday, July the 10th. What's up? How we doing?
Not much, man. We're getting flash flood warnings. I take those seriously, just so you know, too. I'm not sure if you've been outside, if you hadn't gotten to your car yet, listen to us on your phone. If you are in your car and just starting your journey, if you're going 65 south, it is some puddles, okay, or 386 as well, the route that I came in this morning. Take it serious. Slow down a little bit, man. Look side to side and don't be in a rush, because you being in a rush will cause everybody else to be late, because if you spin out, we're going to have they're going to have a problem because I'm already at work. But if you look outside, like the cloud cliff is crazy looking right now. So
don't be a hero.
Thank you.
Yep.
Simply said.
Don't be a hero.
Don't be a hero today on days.
The flooding stuff is legit. That it's fascinating to me how quickly that happens.
It's wild to me. I know, of course, we live up by the lake and stuff like that. Water rises fast. And not just that, like even just the levels, like the flash flooding could just be the levels being high and you in a smaller car or a lower car. And you put yourself in a bad situation. That water is serious. It giveth and it taketh, Will, at any time. Most definitely.
That is very true. Another week where we had great weather during the week, and then just by the time the weekend got here, then it starts pouring.
It did that last weekend as well.
I just feel like it's happened a ton this year.
Yeah, that's true.
I get great weather during the week, and then the weekend hits, and it's just...
Yeah, well, maybe it helps Baby T-Hawk sleep, because it definitely helped me sleep last night.
Yeah, he slept almost through the night.
Did he?
What a
I love that for
magical turn of events.
Same, Will.
It took him a while to get down, but once he was down, he was down.
Hawk looked like he got a little life in his eyes today, don't
I got a whole 4 hours of sleep.
What did he have the last 2 days? Death?
He did.
Okay.
I could tell. I could tell Hawk was down the last 2 days, man.
You got a whole 4 hours last night.
That's great. It was a whole 4. Listen, you take what you can get when you become a new dad.
Yeah.
Yesterday at football practice, so I'm coaching again, as I've told you. I'm not sure if I actually announced it.
You have, yeah.
The boys are hilarious. Do you hear me? Just each and every one of them got a story to tell. It's beyond, it's unbelievable the type of stuff that they talk about on the practice fields. But I thoroughly enjoy watching them develop, man. It's one thing I would tell the younger guys, like I sound like a coach because I am a coach saying this. But I'm like, we're evaluating everybody. Just because you're with the twos or with the threes don't mean you should just make yourself a scout player. And I'm really trying to hit those kids with encouragement because all they care about, Will, Hawk listeners, is one thing.
Okay.
When we putting the pads on.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Are they prepared for how much harder you're going to make practice once they put the pads on?
They don't know.
Okay.
They don't.
They have no clue.
They have no clue.
So they're in for a rude awakening.
They are.
They are cruising for a bruising, and you are their cruise captain.
Yes. They have no idea whenever I'll go to autopilot on them as soon as we hit this practice field, man, and pads. And they're begging for it. I'm like, I get it. I used to have anxiety about the first day of pads. I'm not sure about you guys.
I've never once worn shoulder pads in my life.
You haven't?
No.
In high school? I thought you played. You played young.
I've never played a day of football in my life.
Well, I played.
I wasn't
Pee-wee
allowed
football.
to. I was too small.
Pee-wee football.
You played Pee-wee?
I sure did.
Oh, okay.
What position were you?
Like 10, I played football, basketball, baseball, soccer. I played.
Wow.
Some weekends in the fall or in the spring, I'd play like 3 sports in the same weekend.
Jeez. Yeah, I never got that busy. We were one at a time. Only thing that
regular Bo
overlapped.
Jackson out here.
That's right. You have your own cartoon as well. Only sport I had blend was football to basketball. Nothing else blended. So I only did school sports because being raised in Lauderdale County, it wasn't a whole lot of youth sports. I think they had baseball at the park, but I never even knew about a sign up for like Little League baseball and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That was the one I was best at.
Really? Mm-hmm. You did say that because you're a lefty as well.
I was a perennial all-star.
Where are you?
I was bragging camp.
It was fantastic, but then baseball wasn't really my sport.
So you went to bragging camp, not baseball camp.
Pretty much.
You're right. I did not go to.
No, I
went
was
to more soccer camps than I did anything.
I was basketball, baseball, and then once I got to middle school, track.
Yeah.
Because I didn't run before I got to middle school.
I don't think we even had a middle school track team. We were
really?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Everybody has a middle school track team. That's like the most basic thing you can have. Because all you got to do is have shoes. Come out and join us. Come out and run. We're going to turn left.
I don't remember us having one. I'm going to go back and look at the yearbook.
My middle school had a track.
I know we didn't have
that's
a track.
More common.
Yeah.
That's way more common.
I know we
did. Not a team.
Yeah. I'm going to check on that one because I don't remember us having having a track team. And also, too, getting to the point about them going to pads, I had anxiety every year about, or nervousness about putting pads on. And they are so over the top right now. When are we putting on pads? And I don't think we're putting them on for another 10 days.
Okay.
So they got a lot of install that we're doing right now. And they don't understand it, which is fascinating because I'm telling them, we got to get this down before we actually compete. Because when it's time to compete, you need to know these plays. Because if you don't know these plays, I'm pulling you at that point and you will be on scout team. So figure it out, bub. So,
okay.
It's fun, though, man. I'm enjoying it. I ran some intervals yesterday after practice.
Just you or you and the players?
Just me.
Okay.
There was a few kids out there doing some extra. My son, actually, Miles, he's doing extra because I found out. I told him he's going to play mostly offensive line.
Yeah.
And he's telling the coaches, well, I'm playing both ways, just so you know. And I'm like,
uh-oh.
Go off, young king.
It's not what Coach Dad said.
No, coach going to let him cook. If he feels like, if he's playing both sides, offense and defense, it tells me this. He's gotten himself into shape because I'm harder on him than most because he's my kid and I'm out there. So I got to be hard on him. But
he's talking like Jeffrey Simmons. Said, I'm built different. I'm playing more snaps than anybody else.
That's exactly what he's getting at. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right.
More power to you.
When I saw him doing the extra, I was like, all right, Dad's going to do some intervals with you. So,
I like it.
My knees feel it this morning, though.
I'm sure they do. So that's what gets sore when you run?
It is. And it's on turf. Beach got turf.
Got to get you some shoes.
Yeah.
Got to get you some shoes for running.
You point me in the right direction on that one.
I got you.
All right. I'm serious.
I got you.
I can't find the right ones. I don't know if we go to Hoka, Brooks, Adidas.
Go to Fleet Feet. They'll take care of you.
That's my boy.
That's what you got to do.
That's
I'm serious. I'm serious. I know I do endorsements for them, but that is the best fit for me because I have legitimately been doing that since I was in high school, and they will hook you up.
For sure.
Yeah, the technology they have, nowhere else you need to go.
I'm headed there because I can't find the right Hokas or Brooks to actually wear for comfort.
It's not only the shoes, it's the inserts. Because some people need an insert to make the shoe even better. Gosh. So you could be halfway there, but you need to be all the way there.
I got you.
On what you need.
I'm going to let you know how it goes. This one over there in Hendersonville.
There you go. You'll love it.
Free shout out.
It's good stuff.
Not free shout out. It was a good shout out.
That's right. I have an announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
I have an announcement to make. I learned something about myself yesterday. There is a time in a man's life where they reach an age where they graduate, Ramon. They graduate from one thing that they've loved for so many years, that's kept them up at night, that's entertained them, that's made them feel important.
Yeah.
And then there's a time where you graduate from that. I am cooked. I am washed. I am a has-been. I am Kevin Garnett for the Nets. I am Paul Pierce or Michael Jordan on the Wizards. I am LeBron James on wherever he's going next year.
Shaq in Cleveland?
At video games. The new NCAA football came out. I no longer have the innate ability to just turn on the system and immediately dominate. I have graduated from Xbox to golf.
Really?
I would like to officially announce this is my graduation from Xbox to golf. I'm not ending. I'm not retiring. Again, I'm LeBron and wherever he's going to play this upcoming season. And I know the irony of me comparing myself to LeBron James probably does sound pretty weird for 100 different reasons.
Yeah.
That being said, I can't just instinctively just be good. I was struggling with Jacksonville State in Neyland on my first game last night.
Straight up?
And then the game actually froze on me, so I didn't have to really make a hard decision if I was going to quit or just take an L. I could have come back. But I would like to announce this is my graduation. I'm getting closer to 30, about to turn 29 in a couple weeks. I enjoy video games. I'm not playing online. I'm not joining a league. I am washed. I'm a has-been. And so I'd like to officially announce my graduation. You're going to see me at more driving ranges. You're going to see me playing more golf because I have reached the age where you go from being really good at Xbox to being really good at golfing.
Washed.
So I would like to officially announce this as my graduation. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the other side, man.
I appreciate that.
It hit me hard the exact same way.
I don't know all the trick plays. I don't know all the cheese and corny stuff that you do. And you run this play, and you're going to get a free one-play touchdown. No, I don't know. I don't care enough to know. I'm not going on YouTube to craft up stuff. I just want to play a realistic game. I'm not running the same play 20 times in a row because I know it's broken. That's not fun to me anymore. I want to play realistic football. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to play by myself. I'm still going to do Dynasty, but I am not close to what I used to be. My high school self could put up 50 in the first half
feel you,
on
man.
me right now in Xbox.
It really is like
It's
a
really
graduation.
unfortunate.
I remember I was in it. I was in the same way, Will. Like, I'm in it. I got to get the new game every year. I pick up the sticks and we're rolling. And then it doesn't. Then, like, you know what I blamed it on? I blamed it on them switching distributors, whatever. No, the creators, when it come down to, like, they go from one game maker to the other. And I was just like, well, it's because of them. They did it to me.
Well, for me now, I don't have time. I no longer have the time to get in the lab and practice and learn all of the plays. So, yeah, it's all right. I was surprised at how little excitement I had to fire up the game yesterday, too.
You contributed.
It's lost a little bit of its shine.
You contributed.
Partly because of the microtransaction stuff that's really popular right now. Have you seen all that?
What's the microtransaction?
So, Xbox games, I mean, even back to NCAA 14, have had small US dollar payments that you can make within the game in order to enhance the experience. So, you can buy certain things, usually in online modes, because you have competitive leagues, you have different rewards that you get if you make your team better. So you can buy like packs of players, kind of like trading cards to open, and then you get to use those on your team in a mode called Ultimate Team that is essentially taking all of players from the past and putting them on one huge football team that you play against other teams with. FIFA does this really well with Ultimate Team, which I have legitimately given months of my life because that's what I've been playing the most over the last 12 years. Well, this year, EA Sports added microtransactions to an offline game mode. So now the way that you max out the ability of your football coach is by buying with real money, XP and skill points.
I've seen those,
And people are rightly crushing EA Sports for this because it's one thing to make an online mode that's always been pay to win based on microtransactions. But the guy that's working 50 hours a week who just wants to come home and have fun on the video game, or also like the kid who now feels like they have to spend money in order to like get the full experience of the game. It's really greedy from EA Sports, and people are not happy about it. It has kind of hurt a little bit of my excitement for the game, to be honest with you.
Hearing that, you know who did it? Fortnite.
Well, yeah, right.
Fortnite started
And EA did it before Fortnite even existed.
Roblox.
This has been a thing before Fortnite ever existed.
Yeah.
But EA Sports is a very greedy company that has always tried to prey on kids
The youth,
in this way and take their money.
It's them. So it's a couple of things that I'm over when it comes down to me having mindless fun on my phone or the video game. That part of it, yes, most definitely. That plays a huge part. The other part is Apple being able to take my music away from my purchases that I've had in the past. That's one thing. But the other one that used to be so free and so fun and so addictive. Like you can't even play Angry Birds right now without having to buy like a gym pack. Or like being able to like extend it, or you got to
What
wait
happened
like
to the game I love?
3 hours before you can play again. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I would retire as well. Like I know my kids are into it, especially my youngest. My youngest is navigated to the Xbox as well, which there's a difference in play in that. So he's got like a PC that he somewhat plays the Xbox off of. But I'm with you. These dudes be having hacks. These dudes be having just cheat codes. And I've watched them online just be elite.
Right.
The Ultimate Team thing I never got into because I never understood why I wouldn't just want to play online.
I just don't like people who play the football games online and just run the same thing over and over and over. And then I can't stop it. And then I get mad. But then it's really on them because they're just running the same thing over and over. They're not actually good at this. They've just watched all the YouTube videos. That part of it is very annoying to me. I did end up beating Eastern Michigan like 52-7 on Heisman in my last game last night. So I did get there eventually. It just took me longer. No, I wasn't looking for that. I don't need that. That's not a flex at all, beating Eastern Michigan on Heisman on the video game. But it took me longer to get to a point where I was actually playing real football and not either just throwing picks or getting sacked. The pass protection on the new game, oh my gosh, non-existent. I hope the Tennessee's offensive line is better than what it has on the video game because my word.
But that's the
They made
other
Sam
part.
Pendleton a 75. I texted my group text. I was like, Sam Pendleton shouldn't be a 75. They're like, well, but he's pretty bad then down the stretch last year. I was like, he wasn't 75 overall bad. What are you talking about? Wendell Moy's a 90.
Yeah, I can see that one.
Sam Pendleton a 75 is crazy.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
I hate that you had to graduate over that because that was a little bit of enjoyment, I'm sure. It just shows, too, that if you're going to be a gamer, then you really got to be, like, fully locked in. You can't halfway do it. I took off, like, a year from, like, one, like, Madden to the other. I'm a Madden guy. And I just couldn't pick it back up. I never was able to get this new version of college football. I'd play with the Vols a couple of times.
I like it better than Madden.
Do you?
Yeah.
I played with the Vols a couple of times, and that was just about it. And I was excited about the new release of it, too, last year.
It's more, I'm still okay at the game. Like, I think I'm probably still above average. It's more, I just don't care to get better.
That's real.
That's more where my graduation comes from. Like, I'm still not bad. I just don't really need to be great.
I get that.
And it's the first time ever that I've been playing that game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay just kind of being this skill level and just not taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
So anyway, catch me more on driving ranges moving forward. 615-737-1045 is our number. Speaking of college football, ESPN released its initial football power index. Where are the Vols ranked and what chance do they have to make the college football playoff, according to ESPN? We'll tell you next. Friday morning in studio, Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone and Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. 615-737-1045, our number. ESPN has released its initial football power index. And if you're unfamiliar with what this is, it is the percent chance of making the playoff, of winning the national title, a projected win total that's very inexact in a power rating of sorts. Essentially, this is the statistic that is always going to have SEC teams in the top 20 by January, where you'll see this, and Alabama will have lost 3 games, and yet they're somehow ranked number 2. That's the ESPN Football Power Index. It is an analytic. It is predictive in a way, but it is also not totally a ranking based off of games and things that you deserve. It is closer to a power rating from ESPN. Tennessee is number 16 on the initial football power index. They have a 21% chance, Ramon Foster, to make the college football playoff, a projected win-loss record of 7.3 and 4.7, an 81% chance to get to 6 wins. That about right for you?
Yeah, it's around that. Most definitely. I don't see much of a pushback on it, considering the schedule that the Vols have and also the quarterbacking competition that has to be settled at some point, too. Like 21% is exactly the old, so you're saying we have our chance. Like, that's essentially what you're asking for this time of year. And there's a lot of other factors that go into this percentage, the way the season flows, injuries for other teams, and just sometimes the ball bounces your way or chooses not to. But 21% somewhat lines with what I think this squad is. I think everybody's who's a Vols fan, or at least evaluating, got the Vols at 7-8 wins. If they get up to 9, that is a bonus right there. 9, and I think they're in, because I think there's some good quality dubs that come along with that as well.
So I think that's where we will have to rewire our brains a little bit, to quote the great philosopher Will Levis, on the way the playoff is going to work and the way records will or won't get you in. The fact that Tennessee in this is most closely projected to be 7-5, yet still has a 21% chance to make the playoff. That feels high to me for a team that the same metrics tell you is most closely expected to go 7-5 this year. That ninth SEC game is really going to change things.
It is.
I don't think people are ready for how much that is going to change the math to get in, where I think 9-3 is about to become the new 10-2.
And also the other side of it, too, is where are you at when you play these SEC teams? And I know that's like naturally for any team, but like the ninth game this year doesn't give you any grace to say, you know what? We will play Troy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that luxury. The ninth game for you on the schedule this year is friggin' Texas A&M, or is being able to play Arkansas again. Like, I know it's a home and home that we've just had with them, but this is the Auburn game that we're speaking of at this point in time. It's no longer Troy that you get to play, or you're going to play UT Martin. Like, it's not the case as much. So being able to evaluate when you play them, like Auburn in week 3 might be a different team by the time they get to the Egg Bowl later in the season, or is it Iron Bowl for them?
Iron Bowl for
the Bamas, yeah. So imagine just the way they are at that portion of the season. You either better be really hot when you run up against Texas and Auburn, or be really good by the time you get towards the latter part of the season, because I am looking at that Kentucky game. And with Kenny Minchie, the new offensive coordinator and head coach that they have, like, that could be a very appealing game for the Vols, and that can either lead to you having 6 wins or 7, because, again, they got a veteran seasoned quarterback. So, yeah, the way the season is viewed now, and there's no excuse for it, you better put the strongest team that you can out.
And everyone's in the same position.
No doubt.
Right. I think where it gets interesting is, you're right, in that part of the schedule, when you just don't have a break before a marquee SEC game, in so many seasons, you would have UTEP at the beginning of November for homecoming.
Yes, man.
You would play Marshall. You would see Western Kentucky. There were a number of teams that would allow you to get healthy. And really, if you even just look at Tennessee's schedule this year, if you put a team like that into, let's say, either October 24th or November 7th. Let's say, for the sake of discussion, Kentucky goes back to the last game in October, the way it's been for years, and you played UTEP on November 7th.
Facts.
All of a sudden, you have 2 weeks to get guys who you would be on the fence and playing totally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So you now have, that player available for Texas A&M on November the 14th. They've rested on your bye week, which is Halloween for Tennessee this year, which is a shame. And November 7th, when you would play UTEP.
Yeah.
Is Kentucky at home enough to make you say, well, if you guys 50-50, though, going to have to play, right? Like, we're right there. We don't have that margin for error anymore. I think that's where the lack of a break in the middle of all of this. And again, like Auburn and Alabama have been playing UT Chattanooga every year before the Iron Bowl for years. They just trade off UT Chattanooga to play in the middle of November. That rule is also now in place where teams with the cupcake rule can't play, I believe, I forget what the specifics of it, but essentially there is a rule now in the SEC that takes away your ability to play UTEP or to play Chattanooga, respectfully, in November during the week before rivalry week. Mm-hmm. So you got to play an SEC game the week before rivalry week now. I think that's where this gets really interesting. It's just the grind and the wear and tear week to week without any kind of break.
Yeah. And again, like you brought up a great point that I want to just showcase here. It's not just the Vols. It's everybody that's involved in it as well. Like Texas's schedule. We talked about it a little bit off air. Texas opened up with Texas State. Get that in-state team you play. Then they got Ohio State. Then their last, if we want to call it cupcake wheel, is UTSA in week 3. Then they got UT, the Vols, bye week.
Well done by you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to any chance we get. After the Vols, they got a bye. And then it's the Red River Shootout. Oklahoma.
Thank you for calling it shootout, too. You're on a roll.
You know what I'm saying? I'm rolling this morning. Then they got Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, LSU, Arkansas, and then they go to Texas A&M.
So their cupcake week is Arkansas.
It's Arkansas.
Who, by a wide margin, looks like the worst team in the SEC as things sit right now.
But it's still another SEC team. And yeah, I'm with you. I think they are the cupcake.
Either them or Mississippi State.
Yeah, they are. No doubt about it. But no, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would put State that low below them.
FPI does.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, that is no break, no breather whatsoever in that schedule.
So to the point about how spread out the playoff chances are, Tennessee is one of 8 teams with a greater than 20% chance to make the college football playoff in the conference this year. Texas has the best chance of making the playoff at 70%. They are the number 2 team in ESPN's FPI. They have a 13% chance to win the national championship as well, the only team greater than 10% in the SEC this year. Georgia, 63% chance to make the playoff. Those are the only 2 teams over 50%. Mm-hmm. Alabama's 41% chance. LSU 40%. A&M 39%. Oklahoma 28% chance to make the playoff. Ole Miss 23% chance to make the playoff. And Tennessee 21% chance to make the playoff. From there you get down to Florida, then Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt, the 4th worst odds to make the college football playoff in the SEC at 7% chance. Jeez. Again, according to ESPN FPI, someone will quote me and say that I am saying that, and I am not. This is ESPN's FPI saying that about the SEC. Mm-hmm. So, top teams within all of this, Ohio State, number 1 team in the country, according to ESPN FPI, 76% chance to make the playoff, 17% chance to make the national title. Texas 2, Notre Dame 3, 74% chance for them to make the playoff. Oregon 4, 65% chance to make the playoff. And Georgia 5. There are 3 other teams with a greater than 50% probability. And think about what this means for the parity of the sport. There are 8 teams who have a greater than 50% chance at a free-for-all after that. Miami at 61% chance, Texas Tech at 58%, and Indiana at 57%.
This is a different outlook on college football, specifically college football. Like basketball has lived this world where you have your Gonzagas that'll pop up, or you have Texas Tech just cook from time to time. Florida would intervene, and you have non-traditional blue bloods that would, muddy the waters per se when it comes down to the March Madness and just who's the strong teams in that said sport. You mentioned the 3 other teams with greater than 50% chance to make the playoffs. And here's where I will say I don't think it's an issue. It just shows you where parity is and what NIL will do for your team if you have the support behind it. You said Miami, Texas Tech, and Indiana. 3 separate conferences, all with opportunities to be in the national championship game or make the playoffs. That is a fascinating approach to me to what the game is. And just, again, when we started speaking about NIL and what it could do and why these teams are adding in entertainment fee and why schools are trying to get the revenue sharing down, Miami, Texas Tech, and Indiana shows why. And I know –
I'd say Miami is a blue blood, though.
Yeah, they are. But, Miami hadn't been this in the last, 10 years. As of lately, they
had the
have.
last 2.
I'm with the last 2, but before this NIL really took off, Miami, they get hot preseason, then they fall off a cliff. This is a fascinating approach to where college sports are now. And I like it because it gives more opportunities just to say, well, this school is the only school you need to go to if you want to go pro or win football games. Indiana still being in it right now I think is still a delight. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like for Cignetti the second time around now that he's got a bigger bullseye on his team and his coaching.
And a new quarterback.
Coming
over from TCU, Josh Hoover.
It is SEC fans might have a little issue with this. I want to see how we as a conference bring this together and try to claim that, hey, we're still the best of the best because
I don't need to be the best, though.
I liked it.
I just want Tennessee to be the best if I'm speaking for the Vols fans.
If we can, well, here's where I am. Realistically, this year, we got a lot of questions. So I'm not really on top of just saying, hey, we're going to be the best of the best this year. If we can't be it, then the conference needs to represent it. I've always been that way.
I don't view it that way.
I've always been that way when it comes down to SEC being dominant.
I mean, if I'm taking off my Tennessee fan hat, then sure, yeah, great.
And that's where I'm at.
But speaking from a Vols fan's perspective, I don't ever want an SEC team not named Tennessee to win the national title, ever.
I'm there with you. I 100% agree with you. But in years like this one, where you got an inexperienced quarterback and you got questions on the defensive line, yeah, I'm okay with saying it needs to be somebody from the SEC.
Yeah, that's where you and I are different. I will never.
I'm not rooting for them.
Thinking.
I just like the bragging points. That's all.
SEC teams, the top 25. There are many of them in the initial ranking. In fact, there are, doing math in real time, that's never good. I believe 12 teams that are ranked to the SEC, according to ESPN's initial football power index. Texas at 2, Georgia at 5, Alabama at 8, LSU at 9, A&M at 11. Oklahoma at 12, Ole Miss at 14, Tennessee at 16, that's 8 teams, Florida at 18, Missouri at 21, Auburn at 22, South Carolina at 23. That's 12 SEC teams in the initial top 25 from ESPN's Football Power Index.
That's 12. That's not bad. I'm a little shocked by South Carolina, but I guess at 23, it's feasible for them to be in this top 25. Lenore Seller does a lot for them, and Auburn being in it as well. I like the representation.
Added a lot up front, too.
Yeah, they did. So
I hope their guy's healthy coming back from an off-season injury. I believe playing basketball. They're big. South Carolina's huge left tackle they got from NC State, Jacarius Peak. Yeah.
Hurt himself playing basketball in the
offseason? Let's see.
What? Well, I get it. I mean, it happens. Big guys think they're athletes all the time and realize they
during a team-sponsored 3-on-3 basketball tournament in February. Missed spring practices, not catastrophic. They fully expected to be ready for the season. But that was the big addition they made at the transfer portal to help protect Lenore Sellers, and he's not practiced.
That's tough. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he can get it together in time for him to get back on the field because they can't have that excuse 2 years running right there. I know they got rid of the offensive line coach. I think they fired him in the middle of the season last year. So South Carolina is always that team I pay attention to simply because I feel like they've always been good.
Yeah, you're different than most Tennessee fans in that. And you, to be fair, played against a really good era of South Carolina football.
It was Spurrier that I hated.
You played against Spurrier.
And Coach Former made it a point. He didn't like them.
For good reason.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He didn't like them and we didn't either. And I never forget that night game in which they just kind of totally just rolled us over. And that was a huge game for us. I think that's one of the reasons we weren't bowl eligible my senior year.
Yeah, and for most of Tennessee football's history, It's not a matter of beating South Carolina. It's a matter of how much do you beat them by.
Exactly.
You're frustrated if you don't beat them by 3 touchdowns.
And it was that. I couldn't understand them. Them wearing, Russell jerseys and stuff. I'm like, we shouldn't be losing to these guys.
Now they're Nike, which doesn't really mean what it used to, does it?
You see how I told you the message boards and how they're ticked off about how their Nike rollout has happened? Like South Carolina. Nike came because of Dawn and the Lady Cox, okay? Like, there was nothing else that they want. Well,
maybe.
I get it, but, like, legitimately, I'm looking at them and just like, South Carolina, you guys are only getting like $5 million a year. Get your weight up.
Yeah, it's a much different kind of contract, that's for sure. Kendall Briles, the OC there, is interesting. It feels like he's now been at half the SEC and Big 12, but I'm interested to see what he can do for them because I still think Shane Beamer is a really good football coach. I think that he's gotten some staff hires really wrong, especially on the offensive side of the football. I think if he was sitting in here and you gave him truth serum, he'd probably tell you, well, look at what I've had to offer those coaches and the staffs that he is allowed to put together based off the money available to him. But that's a 3-year, $6.5 million contract for Kendall Briles as the new OC at South Carolina. And they finally have a proven play caller as an SEC play caller. And that's something that they've lacked over the past couple of seasons, from Satterfield to Loggins to just the different guys that they've put in that role. It has been a revolving door around a really good quarterback and a really shaky offensive line. And I think they'll feel like in South Carolina they've fixed the play calling spot at least as much as they can. And if Ja'Carrius Peete can get healthy, they've fixed the offensive line part as well.
Is this the offense that the Vols run? This Kendall Briles?
I don't know. I mean, the Vols offense has changed so much.
It has
so much more 12
like
personnel than it used to be.
The basics of it is essentially the Art Briles offense.
Yeah, it's similar. It's Briles' coaching tree because he has the last name.
Exactly. So as it stands right now, South Carolina's running it. The Vols have a version of it. Kentucky has a version of it.
Ole Miss has a version of it. LSU has a version of it. Auburn has a version of it.
My point is, but the Vols are the only ones scrutinized by this version of it.
That's not true.
I know, but like
other teams are scrutinized.
It's loud. I feel like, well, the Vols wide receivers don't get the same. I mean, they don't get the same grace that I feel like Ole Miss's does or like LSU's does when it comes down
that still
to
exists on Ole Miss a little bit.
We just hear it because we're Vol centric or what? Because I'm like, everybody's running the Art Briles offense or something.
I mean, we talked about it with Jackson Dart as an NFL prospect.
We did.
The Briles coaching tree part of it and all of those things. Yeah, it's not just a Tennessee thing. I think you're getting a little.
I was about to get offended. Right
you're getting a little. What's the word? I don't know. Swayed by the local dialogue and conversations.
Yes, I am. I took offense to that one, man, because I'm like, hold up, we're okay with this offense except if Tennessee run it. Well, maybe that's just me then. Okay, I'll digress.
I think Tennessee also does have. Tennessee does have maybe the. I don't know. I mean, the wide splits, like, I think Tennessee has the full menu of the Briles system.
Okay.
I think some of these other teams have bits and pieces of it. I don't see Ole Miss running as many of the wide split stuff and running as much NASCAR tempo as Tennessee does. I think the only other team in the SEC doing that is Auburn, because Alex Golish came. Yeah, and Jeff Levy, that's fair. Yeah. And Mississippi State. But again, even they're not running tempo quite as much. Maybe the numbers wouldn't back that up. But
here's the thing.
I'd say it's probably those three teams. You're right.
I love tempo. I mean,
Chip Kelly was really the first guy to fully embrace that at Oregon, right?
Sure was.
Right.
I think
but how many of those players also were successful in the NFL? Like, this has always been a conversation.
That's fair.
Yeah. Interesting. 21%, that's a little higher than I would have expected for Tennessee. A little bit higher than I would have expected, but 8th highest in the SEC. I think Tennessee being right in the middle, 7.3 and 4.7, the win-loss projection. Yeah, I think that's about right.
You want to know what the more this is in-your-face realities of what the SEC schedule is now? Kentucky's the homecoming in 2026.
Yeah, you're going to have to start doing that.
That's wild to me.
You're going to have to start doing that.
And honestly, I think we're Alabama's. No, Bama come to us this year, though.
'Cause that doesn't,
Yeah, they come to
Bama
us.
comes
We're
to
some
Knoxville.
big team.
That's not going to mean what it used to anymore.
I know, but still, you never want to be the homecoming team traditionally.
No, right. No, for sure.
Like in high school, we'd schedule Memphis teams. Like we never scheduled the rivals because the county teams.
We would also schedule Memphis teams.
The county teams, we were always better than like metro teams in Memphis that came down to us. So we'd be having Manassas or Tresvant or something like that. So I used to always laugh like, yeah, we're going to cake them real quick.
Sure. 615-737-1045 is our number. One of the best players of all time in the biggest sport in the world did it again yesterday, and I'm not talking about Lionel Messi. A record that is about to be set in World Cup soccer that may never be broken. I'll tell you about it coming up next. What's up? It's Will Bowling for my friends at Lee Company. Is your home's air conditioning keeping up this summer? Well, Lee Company has you covered. Their team of professional electricians and technicians will give your home's AC a tune-up, as well as seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of the heat and humidity outside. Don't let your AC fail this summer. Head on over to leecompany.com to schedule your appointment today. Unfortunately, you might have realized over the past couple of weeks, as hot as the temperatures have been here in Middle Tennessee, that your AC unit was not ready for all the summer heat. And that's all right. But Lee Company, they can be out there quickly to repair things for you and get things working the way that they are supposed to. So don't let your AC fail this summer. Get that preventative maintenance, the seasonal cleaning, and get that cool air back in your home by heading online and scheduling an appointment at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Wrapping up hour one on this Friday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling.
Basis.
104.5 The Zone YouTube channel is where you can interact with us. One comment says, Will is sounding like a Cowboys fan saying we are going to win it all, talking about Tennessee. What? What are you talking about?
I didn't hear that.
I never said that.
You just said you super pro your team.
Never said that. Said I would rather root for only Tennessee to win it all. I'm not going to root for any other SEC team to win it all, but I certainly don't expect it. I actually said I was surprised that they had as high of a playoff chance that they did. Yeah. Do not think at all that that's the case.
No doubt.
Very odd. Daniel weighs in and says, Ole Miss has a significantly better track record of receivers than the Vols in the NFL. Again, huh? What are we on in the YouTube chat this morning? What's going on over there today? We're making a lot of sentences that are interesting. That's a take.
Wide receivers.
That's a take.
I think as far as pre-draft, they might.
I mean, did college football history begin 2 years ago? Because maybe then, but
yeah.
But even still, actually, I don't know if that's the case.
I'm probably going to be wrong in saying this. Okay, DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown currently.
That's kind of it.
Just making plays in the NFL.
Laquan Treadwell was a draft pick, but he never really panned out.
There are numbers. Elijah Moore, did he pan out?
No.
So, I get the point, and I get the rub that my boy is giving to the Vols right now. But Jonathan Mingo, Jordan Watkins, are we really, really jump on that soapbox right there? No,
yeah,
I don't think so.
One.
Yeah, no, it's not many in the NFL right now. AJ has done his thing, and also DK Metcalf as well, but
Tennessee was wide receiver U for a long time.
Yeah, it's not a long list of Ole Miss wide receivers that we can throw out there. And that is no diss to Ole Miss because I got a lot of good friends that graduated from Ole Miss as well. I just don't remember them being wide receiver U. They've had good prospects that have come into the NFL but never really blossomed to that level.
I mean, if we want to talk about Peerless Price and Dante Stallworth and Robert Meacham and Cordell Patterson and all those guys, we can have that conversation.
Go back if you want to.
It's an interesting one. And Jawan Jennings.
Yeah,
shout out, Blackman High School.
Getting it right now.
That's exactly right.
No, we're forgetting another one.
You know who else is still getting to it is Kylian Mbappe. 2-0. We have our first semifinalist in the FIFA World Cup. France over Morocco yesterday for Les Bleus. That's what they're called. Kylian Mbappe scoring again. He now scores his 20th goal in the World Cup.
How significant
he
is
that?
He is
one behind Lionel Messi for the all-time record for World Cup goals, a record that has been held by former German striker Miroslav Klose for quite some time. I think Kylian Mbappe, because at this pace, he has now played 20 World Cup games in his life. He has 20 goals in those 20 games. I think he's got a chance to set a pretty unbreakable record for World Cup scoring. I mean, think about how long it's taken Messi. Messi's almost 40, and he's got 21 of these things. Kylian Mbappe, I think, will be the first ever player to get to 30 World Cup goals. He's 10 away. He's 27. It is ridiculous what he is doing for France. And it's also ridiculous that in the 2 years he's played for Real Madrid in the Spanish top flight known as La Liga, he's been at Madrid for 2 years. Madrid, probably historically the biggest club of all time in history, hasn't won a title in 2 years. Hasn't won anything. Hasn't won a Champions League, hasn't won a title, hadn't won crap in 2 seasons at the biggest club in the world. And here he is for France again, looking like the perfect team player. He's unselfish. He's making runs to open up space for Ousmane Dembele, who has won 2 straight Champions Leagues for PSG in the French top flight, Kylian Mbappe's former team. They got rid of him. They immediately won their first 2 Champions Leagues, and he's won nothing. Yet for France, he's the perfect team player. It is crazy how good he looks in a French jersey on the pitch and what he's been able to do for this team. If you are just getting into this sport and you want to watch him for Madrid and you want to watch him in La Liga, you're going to see a totally different player. And I don't mean that in a good way. You're going to see a player that is a bit more selfish and a bit more dramatic in everything that he does. And he's still really good for them too. But my goodness, he has reached another level in this tournament. He is so fun to watch. And he also missed a penalty in this game doing the stupid stutter step stuff that everybody's been doing to miss penalties in this tournament.
Do you think Real Madrid looks at what he's doing right now as far as the team setup for France and try to emulate that? Because, again, if he's this selfless and also this good with France in the World Cup, what's the difference? Because I'm sure Real Madrid's got plenty of money, got plenty of resources and access to players to get this type of team. Why is he playing better for them and not for his club?
It's a great question.
I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you know that answer. It's just, it raises questions as to what are they doing? Like, when he's with the team, are they asking him to be more selfish?
I do think this World Cup, just as a rule, has given us a more open style of soccer, to where there are less teams just trying to sit and defend and get a draw. Mm-hmm. And even if those teams are, because they have played a couple of those, and yesterday was that against Morocco, Paraguay was the same way in the round of 16, you have less time to be more organized. So when you only have a month or month and a half together, I think it is harder to become so defensively focused and so well-drilled and organized in just playing defense and nothing else, that these games get a bit more chaotic and get a bit more open. And Kylian Mbappe is the type of player who thrives in space, who thrives when the game is stretched and a bit more open.
Yeah. You want to hear something? I'm sure you know it, but I just looked it up just looking at information on Mbappe, too. We speak about, like, the differences between, like, the United States trying to get to this level in which they have players like Kylian Mbappe and others. What is the difference, right?
It's never going to happen.
I know, and here's why I'm looking at it right now. He was a part of a club from ages 6 to 11. At 11 years old, Real Madrid invited him to their youth club. And he was there from 11 years old to 13. Like, he's been in a club system since he was 6 years old. Now, I know they got more access and club access when it boils down to, like, our 707 is their soccer club introduction. It says at age 11, he was invited to Real Madrid's youth team. And he went from there to Monaco in his senior career, and Monaco 2 and Monaco 1, and then he went to PSG right after that. Like, he's been trained, conditioned, groomed to be this great when they saw and recognized what his talent level is. And that's the other part of it as well. It's like, you have to be seen. You have to be in that world, and have that level of talent. So that, to me, is the difference. Like I said, I know one of my son's friends from high school that went over to Germany to attempt to do this himself, and their family all uprooted themselves to go live this life. Like, this is a sacrifice that they do over there that we don't necessarily have here. Do we even have this for our sports? Because
there are academies for kids, yes, attached to MLS teams, but the overall quality is very different.
There's a hard, I guess, conversation that we have that they don't care about over there. Maybe.
What do you mean?
I've seen baseball teams. My son's got reached out to numerous times to try to, hey, you want to come to this baseball school where they do school 3 hours a day and baseball the rest of the time? Like, it's been like 2-3 schools reach out to him for that. That's the difference to me. Is just our educational system, the requirements that we have to compete in sports.
Yeah, it's not enough. We don't have enough time to totally, like, fix the issue. And there is no one fix, because as Alexi Lawless has, I think, partly correctly said on Twitter, like, who's paying for all this free soccer that we just start giving out? Like, if the sport's too expensive and we already have a system built in a capitalism way that makes these big schools and big academies and big AAU clubs money, you can't just flip a switch and all of a sudden those become free and those organizations have no money to pay their coaches to develop the top talent. Like, it is a more... It is a bigger issue than just gets fixed with, like, oh, we've just got to have more kids playing free soccer when they're kids. Like, that, I would love that, but there's so much to it.
Yeah, I see.
We will never have a Kylian Mbappe, though. I will confidently say that, because this is one of the best players of all time, playing at 27 years old. Coming up, Jeffrey Simmons ranked number 2 by executive scouts and coaches at ESPN's top 10 positional rankings list. We'll explain why, according to their reasoning, coming up next. What's up? It's Will Bowling from my friends at Fleet Feet Nashville. Hey, we were talking about them earlier this morning. This is the place to go if you don't know where to start to get the right fit. I'm talking shoes. I'm talking inserts. I'm talking about that pain you've been feeling as you're trying to go for walks around the neighborhood, as you've been more active at the gym, as maybe you're training for a 5K, or better yet, a half marathon or marathon. Fleet Feet has the right fit for you. They're going to walk you through the foot scanning technology. They're literally going to walk with you through this because they're going to watch you walk. Watch the way your foot hits the ground, the different shape of your foot to get you in the right shoes and also get you in the right running community as well. They've got local run clubs. They've got events. They've got things to keep you active. And July 31st through August 2nd, they've got tax-free weekend as well to get you ready to go back to school. Head online, fleetfeetnashville.com with locations all around Middle Tennessee. That's Fleet Feet, online at fleetfeetnashville.com.
Good morning, it live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. France, they're moving on to their third straight World Cup semifinal after beating Morocco 2-0 yesterday in Foxborough. Kylian Mbappe tallied his 8th goal of the tournament, tying Lionel Messi for the lead in the Golden Boot race. Mbappe also added an assist in the match before exiting in the 77th minute with a slight ankle injury. France will face the winner of today's match between Spain and Belgium, which takes place at 2 p.m. on Fox at SoFi Stadium. In some NBA news yesterday, Kawhi Leonard's trade to the Toronto Raptors is now on hold pending the outcome of the NBA's investigation into whether Los Angeles Clippers circumvented the salary cap rules. Both teams announced that yesterday. It does not necessarily mean that the trade is off, however. The Raptors said they do still want Kawhi Leonard, and the Clippers, they insist that they're not guilty of any wrongdoing. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 on this Friday morning edition of Ramon and Will. He is the Vol for Life and Titans radio analyst, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins, the new dad, is our producer. I'm Will Bowling, 615-737-1045, the number. Leonard Williams was voted the number 1 defensive tackle in football, according to ESPN's list, voted on by executives, coaches, and scouts around the league. He had never previously cracked the top 5 since these lists began to be put out at ESPN.com in 2020. He had 4 less sacks than Jeffrey Simmons did in 2025, yet he is number 1. That Super Bowl ring just does something to people.
Shiny.
It's just shiny enough to get you the benefit of the doubt and get you places you don't belong, which is respectfully ahead of Jeffrey Simmons, who absolutely should have been number 1 on this list.
He could have and should have been. I told you when we had this conversation about a couple weeks ago, about 3, Jeff's top 3, probably 1 or 2, and I'm not sure who 1 is, and we figured out who 1 was, and it's Leonard Williams. I will say this. I respect and admire the career that Leonard Williams has had in general. Played for both the New York team, New Jersey teams, and the Jets and the Giants, man, and he is a menace. He's a terror. I got to give it to him. I've watched him do work. I just didn't know he had this type of impact for this season in general. He was All-Pro too. Second team All-Pro, and I'm looking at him being the number 1 guy. Maybe it is, again, that defense was treacherous. He's a menace. I've watched him play. I don't think I've directly – yes, I have played against him when he was with the Jets. But in watching his style of play, he does command a lot. I just don't know if he is effective at what Jeff was individually. Collectively as a team, yeah, I don't think there's nobody better than what that Seattle defense was last year for an interior guy. Like, he's got help. He's got first-rounders surrounding him. He's got a linebacker core that's behind him with Ernest Jones, and he's got a monstrous secondary. I ain't going to say he's supposed to cook because his talent does – it gives what it's supposed to on game day. But he's got a heck of a cast around him, too, and Jeffrey's out here just dominating with not a whole lot when you look at what they are as a defense.
Well, and I think, too, there are more things outside of the stat sheet that makes Leonard Williams a really good football player.
No doubt.
And ESPN tries to quantify some of that with numbers. His 120 run-stop wins when double-teamed over the past 3 seasons are tied for the most in the NFL. His 24 tackles on pass plays in 2025 were 6 more than any other interior lineman. Jeremy Fowler writing, these days he's a nightmare to block. Several offensive coaches did not hesitate to say Williams was the toughest player to guard last season. So that's how you're going to quantify this and make the argument for Leonard Williams. At least the argument they're making is that, oh, well, the things that he does well aren't just numerical. It's just being a pain overall.
He is.
That being said, if you put Jeffrey Simmons in a Seahawks jersey and Leonard Williams in a Titans jersey, I'm not sure Leonard Williams cracks the top 5. And that's the simple fact of the respect the Titans are trying to earn back again, is the brand bias and the win-loss record bias that is not working in your favor right now, that is working in favor of Leonard Williams. I will say, though, this is way closer to the truth than the players voting Jeff 83rd in the NFL 100. That was an egregious, just total oversight, putting him behind the ghost of Bobby Wagner, who at closer to 40 than he is 30 somehow ends up in front of him. That's just a completely ridiculous ranking. This is a little bit closer to the truth, yet still, I think, not good enough for Jeff, who was far and away the best defensive tackle in football last season with very little consistent help from healthy veteran linemen around him.
No doubt. But it shows again what the NFL Network is doing versus people who know what's going on. 3HL asked me about this yesterday. And my comments were exactly as you just expressed, Will. There's a lot that kind of goes into Jeffrey Simmons in the top one NFL rankings of top 100, where he was 83rd. That is players not paying attention to the list and don't really want to be involved in ranking guys that they either feel like they're better than, or they don't care about, or they don't watch. Because more times than not, if you're not watching a guy that you're playing on film, then you don't really pay attention to their seasons unless you see that they are having a career year, and Jeffrey had one of those. It is, and Buck jokes about it, and we bring this up from time to time, though, too. It is the ability to get a bad reputation off of you. The Titans' tax that a guy like Jeffrey Simmons is suffering from national notoriety, from his peers, or from people that vote on these types of things right here, it follows you. That's why it's crucial for Cam to kind of elevate his game a little bit more. It's crucial for this team to elevate their wins, and on top of that, get you those primetime games, get you those night games, get you those one-off is us and nobody else watching type of games, where it's not just the Titans that understand what Jeffrey Simmons is, or anybody else that has to follow. You want Anthony Hill to be in this conversation soon. You want Carnell Tate to be in this conversation soon. You don't want to be, as a fan base, saying we know we got some of the best players in the country, in the world, and nobody else acknowledges it but you. That's a part of a team where guys get fed up. I think that's where you start having the conversations about markets and who can I be traded at this point in my career to go get more money or more notoriety as well. Jeffrey Simmons has done everything that you want him to do when it comes down to it. And I'm glad to see that this list ranks him appropriately than what the NFL Top 100. More than anything this year, that list, I think, takes a bigger hit than it ever has because of that one selection.
I'm a little interested in Jalen Carter being right behind Jeff at number 3. And you and I had this discussion when Jeff got his contract a few weeks ago. I know that Jalen Carter's early in his career, and he's kind of tracking along the same trajectory that Jeff did early in his career as well. But that's all fine and good. It doesn't make you the number 3 defensive tackle in football, to be fair. I mean, somebody ranked him second on this list. His lowest ranking was 9th. He was ranked 3rd last year. Yeah. And Jeremy Fowler says at ESPN.com, says he is one of the toughest evaluations among the top 10. He is immensely talented and has made 2 Pro Bowls. All but one of his votes were in the top 7, but his pass rush prowess is modest. He has 13.5 career sacks in 3 seasons. Last season, he had 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. He did bat down 6 passes, which was tied for the most among defensive tackles. It has 83 pass rush wins since 2023. Tied for 7th most of the NFL. What am I not seeing on Jalen Carter that clearly evaluators are seeing to make him the 3rd best defensive tackle in football, according to ESPN?
Man, I'm going to be real with you, and I'm a victim of it too. I'm basing it off of what I think he is when he's not and what he's going to be.
So you're talking about what he could be?
All of this, I think. Because you mentioned it, and when you look at it, I think Jordan Davis, his teammate, in college and in the NFL, is probably more effective, more impressive in the stuff that he does at 330 to 350 pounds at his size. But Jalen Carter's the guy that you watch. Jalen Carter's the guy that does garner a lot of the attention. Now, those 3 sacks that he had last year was in 3 games. I think when you look at the bad boy side of what he is, too, it kind of attaches. I think if there's a player in this group besides Jeff, because I think Jeff has it too, Jalen Carter, to me, has the Aaron Donald stick to him, to where you know if he gets going, it's going to be problematic. And I think that contributes to his ranking and also to his legend, because the numbers aren't there compared to the other guys on this list. If you're looking at it, I think Chris Jones had a better year, who's ranked behind him, than Jalen Carter did.
Which, again, sacks aren't everything. But
but the effectiveness of it.
He had double the sacks, though. When you have that much more, you would think that you'd be ranked ahead.
And Chris does better in the run game. But it's also, I still think, the Aaron Donald effect that Jalen Carter has right now, to where you have to pay attention to him. Like, Jeff has that as well, but like Jeff also gets production, and now everybody knows about it, and they fight it like that.
Right.
I'm with you. I'm a victim of it, Will. I can admit that. Jalen Carter gets more of a pass than he should when it comes down to his reputation.
Chris Jones also led the league in pass rush win rate at 20%.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Simmons was number 2 at 15.
Yeah. He's Chris Jones is good at that. You want to know why? And I'm a victim of it. He will hit you with a bull rush and just make you anchor down.
Chris Jones, you mean?
Chris Jones will hit you with a bull rush and make you anchor down. And then he'll get wide and he'll rush you as if he's going to bull rush. He does a quick dip and a quick arm over. He will swim you, basically. And at that point, that's that pass rush win rate that he's really good at that gets him at least in the backfield where you have to start. It makes you guess from that point on what your game plan is going to be. He almost got an almost sack on me one time because of it.
Leonard Williams, not in the top 20.
With that's not his game. He's a brute.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's just a
he's a bit
stat
more of
that
a
you'd
run
like to look
stopper
at
also.
for one of these.
But both of them are valuable, though. When it comes down to pass rush win rate, the way I look at that, Chris Jones gets to the backfield. Might not get the sack, but you say, oh, he almost got me. What Leonard Williams does is just mushes you in the face and push you back.
Is he more for run stoppers?
Leonard Williams? That's what we're saying. Yeah,
he is. Yeah,
he's more well-rounded.
He's a
less
bulldozer.
of a pass rush specialist.
Yes, he's a bulldozer, and you got a guy like Chris Jones who's a chainsaw. He'll cut you down, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
It is. This is the film study stuff that you got to like see and recognize. Like this week is an anchor week. Like against Leonard Williams, he's good enough to push you and get around you. Chris Jones is good enough to be agile to get around you. Jeff is explosive and agile and can go either way with it. And Jalen Carter, if I'm describing him, he's a guy that if he gets going, he will be hard to stop in a way that his attitude also gives to his talent level, if that makes sense. Like his reputation is the attitude too. That's why I give him the Aaron Donald effect.
Coming up, Brent Hubbs of AllQuest joins us for his weekly visits. 12 days away from finding out the fate of David Gabriel Georges, where he will be playing college football. We'll get the latest on that recruitment, some baseball portal notes, some football notes as we get closer to SEC Media Days. And who else knows what we'll get to with Brent Hubbs of AllQuest, one of our favorites, who joins us coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, nobody likes dealing with those issues, man. Whether it's your plumbing, your HVAC, or electrical. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody is trying to sell you something you don't need. When you reach out to Hiller, they're experts. They solve your problems quickly, and the price you're told is the price that you will actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. When they're done with the job inside or outside of your house, they'll bring you their tablet. They work off a smart tablet. And they itemize everything, shows you the cost of the parts, the labor, and that's just it. No extras on top of it at all. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated. Their techs, very professional experience, and they're very trustworthy as well. And when they're on the way, you'll give a photo of the tech that's coming to your house and a link to track them in real time so you know who's showing up and when they will arrive. They believe in 100% satisfaction every single time. Their motto is, happy you'll be, or the service is free. To learn more about Hiller or to book with them like I do, head over to happyhiller.com.
Ramon Will rolls on here in hour number 2 on your Friday morning. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined as we are each and every Friday at this time by our good friend Brent Hubbs of VolQuest and On3. What's up, Brent? Good morning.
Hubs.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
We're good. Sitting here refreshing the page. Adidas gear is coming out, and a lot of folks around the state of Tennessee, I think, have liked what they've seen, Brent, this week. A little bit of bigger numbers, and the wheel has not been reinvented. I know a lot of people are very happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, give Tennessee's design team, Danny White, a lot of credit. You know, Danny White always talks a lot about threading that needle of innovation and tradition. That's not a needle you want to thread when you talk about the orange and white and the home uniforms and the traditional road uniforms. And I think they did a nice job of making some minor tweaks, but certainly didn't do anything to go viral and upset the apple cart like what happened in Columbia, South Carolina, or Lincoln, Nebraska. So, yeah, I would say winning move for Tennessee on that. They'll get in their design sandbox with the smoky grays that'll come out later this summer. They'll come out sometime probably in August. That'll be a theme jersey. It'll be different. It'll be significantly different, not because it's Adidas, but because that thing's different every year, and that's kind of their one, I guess, toy, if you will. So we'll see what that looks like. But they certainly did not mess with the iconic look that is Tennessee. It looks like they've got the orange right. They got the numbers a little bigger. It's got a little 90s throwback to it, which I think a lot of people like, but very subtle in the changes that they made, which was very smart in my opinion.
Brent, it's interesting to me as I get on the utsports.com shop page this morning, and you could even see featured players on the left side and seeing like current UT athletes. They've got a volleyball player on here for different athletes that you can look up for their gear specifically in recruiting. And as we see kind of the rollout of all of this on the Tennessee social media pages of softball players and football players, basketball, and all of these different sports. I mean, how big of an impact is this already having in recruiting as Tennessee is just able to market their athletes so strongly with the help of a lot of money from one of the biggest apparel brands in the world?
Well, I mean, that was one of the attractions to this deal for Danny White was not just the raw number, but the fact that they would use current students as ambassadors, and those ambassadors could get funds for that and be paid for that the right way, and doing all those things. You've already seen a shift since Tennessee made this agreement a year ago that's just now gone into effect. We're seeing Texas market players in all sports through Nike as, brand ambassadors. And Tennessee felt like, and part of the reason why they didn't want to disclose a lot of the details of their Adidas deals, they felt like they were ahead of everybody else in putting this thing together. And it's a copycat world out there in athletics because everybody's trying to figure out ways to make money. But, yeah, it's certainly a big part of why Adidas and Tennessee developed the marriage that they developed, because Adidas was all in for Tennessee and they were all in for the student athlete. And that's where a big part of this benefit is in this new agreement that Tennessee's put together.
Hubs, and it also seems like the players are in on it as well. It's fascinating that we've spoken before. The high school world athletes, they have been on Adidas. So I think they've kind of conditioned themselves to not just say, if it's not Nike, then we don't like it. Adidas has done a really good job with the young athlete. Did that make that easier to make this deal as big as it is for the Vols as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when, for some of us old school guys, when the first talk that, wait a minute, they might go to Adidas, it's like, wait a minute. I mean, isn't Nike supposed to be the brand of all brands? And
right.
for us older folks, I guess it is, and it was for us, growing up. And it was a big deal when Tennessee went to Nike because they felt like it was a huge recruiting advantage. But I think that world has changed. I think the way Adidas has gotten into the grassroots at the high school ranks, as you talked about, in the AAU world, there's some cool pro athletes wearing Adidas gear. So I think the student athletes are all in for it. I mean, I think it's, as long as it looks good, I don't know that they worry so much about the name brand on it like we used to, Ramon. So I don't think it's I think, yeah, everybody's embraced it. One, they're getting some money out of it, and two, I don't think they're against that brand at all. And I think that's a credit to kind of the bounce back that Adidas has made the last few years, and they really started grassroots in the high school world and sort of built it out from there.
Joined by Brent Hubbs of All Question on 3 this morning. Hubbs, in the war room, you said it's about 26 days till the start of camp. One thing I thought that was super fascinating, you said this team this offseason doesn't have many projects that they have to, correct. Guys losing a lot of weight or guys putting on weight. Do you see that a little bit more common in today's athlete, man, that they come into college more ready than they ever have? So you might only have to add 10 pounds of muscle, or just you don't have to worry about a guy being in the beach program the entire offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things that have happened. One, in the high school world, with high school programs themselves and the investment that those programs are making now, that there's real nutrition, there's real strength and conditioning. You're just not handing out Uncrustables, after practice. And no offense to Uncrustables, but I mean, you're doing meals and you're teaching kids some proper nutrition, and you have a real strength program with a strength coach, not just the gym teacher telling you to throw up as much as you can. And these guys have their own trainers and all of that stuff. So I do think high school players, elite high school players, and remember, this class that just came in is Josh Heupel's highest ranked class. I think elite high school players are further developed. And I think that what you're seeing with this class is there's a lot of physicality out of this class. There's not a lot of 260-pound offensive linemen that you're trying to make 305-pound offensive linemen. There's some guys that need to add 15 pounds, but there's not anybody that needs to add 40 pounds. And I think that's just, that helps. And then you throw in the fact that everybody gets here at midterm, and you got a strength coach who's clearly got a plan. When you hear the numbers and see guys, I mean, you see Deshaun Bishop and where he's at right now, leaner but 12 pounds heavier. I mean, it's a bit of a different world. Now, that doesn't equate wins, and I think that's what fans have to understand. Just because you're bigger, faster, and stronger than you were, it doesn't mean you win every game because of that, but it gives you a better chance. And I think that's where Tennessee feels like they are right now, not only with this freshman class, but with this team in general. Remember this too, Ramon. You probably came in the summertime, right?
I did, July.
Yeah, you came in July, and you had a month to figure it all out. These guys have been here since January. Yeah. All of them are getting here in January, and so what happens is you get 6 months in a program, a true off season. So you're a half a year ahead in a lot of ways because you've gone through a true off season program coming straight out of high school, as opposed to, hey, I'm here in July, I'll learn where the weight room is. Wait a minute, they're going to teach me some technique on how to lift, and then we're going to go to the practice field. They've had, 6-7 hardcore months of strength training because they're all midterm enrollees, and that's a huge advantage as well.
Brent Hubbs of AllQuest with us as we enter what has become the weekly David Gabriel George's Minute here on Ramon and Will. Brent, what is the latest this week, as he made some headlines with his uncle doing an interview at on3.com this week as well?
Yeah, I think the latest is what's the uncle going to say next,
right?
Because David doesn't talk. And David, made it very clear on Twitter that he hasn't said anything. But the uncle made it clear he's made a decision, and that he's comfortable with his decision. He's not sharing that decision with anybody. Our position on it has kind of been where it's at. I think Tennessee's always been in this better than some national people thought. I think some national people have come around to the idea that this thing is, Tennessee's a legit player and can legitimately get him in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. I think, again, Tennessee's put their best foot forward. I think there's better relationships at Tennessee than some of the national people initially realized and understood, and those relationships are with former high school teammates that he played with. I think he's comfortable with the coaching staff. I think Darrell Sims has done a good job. I think there's other Tennessee influence, obviously, in and around that area down there that knows him, and I think all those things help Tennessee. He likes Coach Lachlan, the running backs coach at Ohio State. the tradition at Ohio State. All of those things are a factor there. But I do think Tennessee's done a really nice job, and I think Ohio State, I don't want to say is playing catch-up, but I think you've seen some moves that they've made that tells you they feel like that this thing is maybe more – they may be in danger of losing him more than they thought they were going to be, a month ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, that type of thing.
Brent, it's really interesting in this recruitment. David Gabriel-Georges could be the kind of running back that Josh Heupel's not had while he's been at Tennessee from a skill set standpoint and just from being that true bell cow, potentially. I know we're very far away from him being an orange and signing on a dotted line, but how different could Tennessee look if DGG does end up signing with the Vols and being a part of this offense?
Well, I think he's really talented. I think he can do multiple things. He's obviously put up huge numbers. I don't think he's just a straight between the tackles guy. I think he's good in space. There's a reason Alvin Kamara's is his favorite back. I think he's more physical than Alvin was, certainly coming out of high school. But, he likes to do multiple things, can do a lot of things other than just straight downhill run game stuff. And, they could look very different because if you get him, whoever gets him, the investment level in getting him is going to be significant. Okay, let's stop dancing around the bush on that deal, right? That's just the reality of it. As I like to call it, he would be your offensive first-round draft pick. Yeah. And so you're not going to do – that guy's not going to hold a clipboard. We're not going to wait till he learns all the pass protections and, get him on the field a month into the season, I wouldn't think. I think in this world that we're living in, if your investment is there and you're putting that kind of money in it, much like David Sanders a year ago, you got to be a guy right out of the gate. And I think that's the belief, but I think there's a belief that he certainly can physically and mentally be able to do that at the next level, which is why he's so coveted and has been so coveted by so many. I mean, Georgia was very much, interested in him and then realized they couldn't get him, so they moved on quickly. LSU would have loved to have been able to recruit him. He wasn't interested. He visited Ole Miss. They're not going to be a factor in there, but, he could have gone anywhere, not just Tennessee and Ohio State. He narrowed his choices down pretty quickly, and now here we stand at the finish line. But he's a guy that everybody coveted because the guy could play. I think everybody believes that.
It was just fascinating. I had another question for you, which you bring up the Tennessee-Ohio State conversation or that back and forth. We are entangled with them often. I mean, as far as the playoff game, and I know we as a fan base, especially on Twitter, have the loud conversation, well, the Vols aren't doing enough. Like, it has been a lot as in like the last 3-4 years, Tennessee versus Ohio State for these top premier guys, and Tennessee's won on a couple of them, and they have as well, and Ohio State won the game. Hubs, I just want you to, I guess, reiterate for the ones that haven't heard, the Vols are serious about being one of those top 5 teams each and every year, and this DGG recruitment shows that.
Well, for anybody to suggest that Tennessee's investment into football is lacking, just hasn't been paying attention, not just to recruiting, but not, I think we get caught up in or some fans get caught up in the fact that they did not go get a $6 million quarterback. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, Tennessee's not spending any money. Tennessee's cheap. That's not the case in football. It's not the case in any sport. Look at the basketball roster that just got assembled. Tennessee athletically is in it to win it. And their investment level is significant to go win it. As Danny White says, until they put some rules in place, we're going to go play. And we're one of the haves and not the have-nots, and you're going to be competitive in that. And I think Tennessee's investment level from a player standpoint in building a roster gets, misled a little bit sometimes because maybe they didn't, it was a year ago, everybody was screaming, go get a receiver, go get a receiver. Tennessee chose not to. Well, they're cheap. They don't want to spend any money. No, they believed in what they had. And Chris Brazel and Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews collectively had more yards receiving than any trio of receivers in Tennessee school history, which is a pretty bold statement when you think about the history of receiver play at the University of Tennessee. So their investments there, you may not always agree with it as a fan in terms of the direction they go, but Tennessee is very committed to being at the top and competitive to try to win a championship in football, as well as other sports, as we saw the transfer portal in basketball just a couple of months ago.
Hubs, it may be my algorithm that I'm seeing it more, but I feel like Braylon Staley.
Did you just use algorithm this morning?
I'm giving an excuse for why it is what it is, Hubs. That's all it is, man. I'm making an excuse for what I'm seeing. Is that I kind of showed my hand right there, huh?
Go ahead, continue on
the For You page.
Sorry, I was rattled by the big word, Ramon.
Listen, man, the Tennessee education paid off, man, and I read, from time to time. With that being said, I'm reading a little bit of the tea leaves, or maybe it's just a little false, I guess, reality that I'm having, but I feel like I'm seeing more of Braylon Staley, which is a good thing, than I have of Mike Matthews this offseason. Is that just mine, or where is Mike, I guess, is the question I have for you. Both of these guys can be first or second round draft picks with a good year this year. So the way I look at it, at least first 3 rounds.
Well, I think Mike, I think Mike's upside is ceiling is still super high. I think Mike did some good things last year, but he missed some opportunities as well. But I think you're hearing about Braylon Staley because he had a really good year last year. He's versatile. You can play him inside and outside. But the slot receiver in this offense has always been the bell cow. You go back to Velus Jones, then they moved Jalen Hyatt in there. I mean, the slot receiver in this offense gets a lot of safety matchups, gets a lot of opportunities that they can win in coverage. And that's a big part of the root of this offense. So I think the feeling is Braylon Staley is a lot to have a big year because, one, he's a good player. 2, he's also playing a position that's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. I think Mike Matthews is as driven as he's been since he's been at Tennessee. I think he got a good taste of it last year. I think he knows he left some things out there with a couple of drops that he would love to have back. If he'd have caught a couple of those deep balls that he misplayed, he would have been pushing 1,000 yards last year. Right. And I think he feels like he should be a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I think physically he's better than he's been, and I think he's caught a ton of balls this offseason to get himself even in a better position. The thing about Mike is Mike's one of those guys I feel like you have to get him going early in a game. Yeah. Jason Swain talked about this a lot with me last year and with you too, Ramon, about get him an early touch and kind of get him into the rhythm of the game. I think you go back and look at his biggest games a year ago, he got an early touch. And I think that's something he's trying to improve upon. That's something Chris Brazzell improved on. And that, hey, if it doesn't come to me right away, stay engaged, ball's going to come my way at some point. I think he's working on that mentally. And I think Tennessee's also understanding, hey, if we get him involved early, he has, he seems to be more engaged throughout the entire game. So I expect a big year out of Mike Matthews for sure.
Brent Hubbs of VolQuest, our guest this morning on Ramon Will, 10 days away from Tennessee Day at SEC Media Days. Talking season is right around the corner. Brent, appreciate you as always.
Hello, Hubbs. Real quick, what are you tending to? I hear you moving and bags rustling. What is that?
Well, I've started to drop the Jim Nantz Hello Friends with some birds in the background, but I'm not sure if that's copyrighted or not, and I don't want to make Jim mad this morning in Nashville. So I didn't want to go that way. I am rustling in the bean patch this morning trying to beat rain. Is what I'm doing. I'm finishing out a bushel of white half runners this morning. How's that for everybody? That's the knowledge you needed to know this morning on 104.5 The Zone.
Absolutely. Right? We should lead with that. We shouldn't save that for the end next time.
I heard a bag. I knew I heard a bag somewhere. That's good. Also, who's the Vol starting quarterback?
Talk to me in 20 or 34 days.
There we go.
There it is.
Thank you, Brent. Have a good weekend.
35 days.
35.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Brent Hubbs with us this morning from the Bean Patch.
From the Bean.
Brought to you by Ascend Federal Credit Union, your financial partner for every stage of life. Absolute best.
I knew he was doing something.
That's right. That's absolutely right. 615-737-1045 is our number. Let's react to that coming up on the other side, the DGG part of all this thing. How big of an impact could he have, in Ramon's opinion, right away for Tennessee football? We'll talk about that next. Friday morning on a rainy start to your weekend on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045, our number. A lot of college football talk this morning, and rightfully so, as we get into media day season, talking season. Always recruiting season, though, Ramon Foster.
Always.
And David Gabriel Georges has obviously been the topic of discussion for us for now over a year as the biggest in-state recruitment, I would say, since Ty Simpson for Tennessee. And at the time, Ty Simpson was billed as perhaps the most important in-state recruit ever. Tennessee didn't get him. Obviously went on to achieve great things at Alabama, becomes a first-round pick, and obviously we know how that panned out. But talking about that with Brent Hubbs on David Gabriel Georges and on that front, and the VolQuest guys continue to be consistent with their messaging that national folks have underrated Tennessee's chances here and are starting to come around to the fact that Tennessee's in a really good spot for one of the premier players in the country and one of the best in-state players ever. What could he change about Tennessee's offense in 2027? I don't want to look past just 26 because some good players on this team as well, but how different could DGG make Tennessee? How important, really, in your mind, is this recruitment?
It's very important because, again, this offense is centralized around the run game. It is centered specifically to ground and pound you until you realize, oh, we got to shrink the box. The next thing you know, you open up with these wide splits. That's what it will do. I think it raises the mindset and the performance level of the guys blocking for him. When you have a good running back, that inherited pressure of having to perform and not let him down because you know he's got talent. You know the coaches are going to call the runs to get the job done as well, and it allows you to push a little bit more. The offensive line coach and the tight ends coach and how they scheme up and have their guys blocking in practice. What does that do in the practice field leading to the game days? That's what it does well. And at any point in time with the speed that I've heard that he has in real time, there's a breakaway. He has the ability to go yard at any point in time. That's a part of his game. And not just that, you look at the build of him. This is a young player who is developed and ready to go how I've ever seen one. I talked to one of his coaches recently that coaches him down at the Baylor School. And I asked him, I said, how real is this? How good is he? And he got quiet and looked me dead in my eyes and said, it's the best that I've ever seen. I said, well, you say that, where's the improvement? And he gave me an improvement that they'll be working on this year as far as his game goes. But to have a coach say he's as polished of a player that he's ever seen come out of high school. And this is also a guy that's played professionally, that's played high college football as well. So you know what good looks like.
Sure.
That's what he provides. Well, he's a threat. Can you? And here's the other part, though, too. If you're looking at this commitment, if it happens this year and what it does for next year, you get a better second-year player, second-year starter, whether it's George or whether it's Faison at quarterback. With the support of him in the run game,
right?
Imagine what it does for the rest of the offense.
No question. I mean, it continues. I think you put it really well. It continues to make Tennessee a run-first offense that is built around the guy carrying the football, not the one necessarily throwing the football. And I expect that to be Tennessee this year. Josh Payton did a podcast a few weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago at this point, about best first-year starting quarterback situations in the SEC. And he had Tennessee, I forget where he had Tennessee ranked, but he had Tennessee lower than I expected. But his rationale for it was, well, that's because I don't expect Tennessee to ask a ton of its quarterback this year. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was the gist of it.
I get it.
Tennessee in 2026 is, as much as I think it was in 24 perhaps, a run-the-ball, play defense football team. Now, we'll see if the defense is good enough to really be defense first or if it is a Deshaun Bishop-led, offensive line-led football team. And that's even with two really good receivers whom you asked Brent about as well, and Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews. But I think it's a type of back Josh Heupel's never really had.
At anywhere he's been.
Yeah, I really do. It just because I don't think there are a lot of David Gabriel Georges types even out there anywhere in college football right now. I mean, truly, the comp for this guy in a lot of ways is Derrick Henry. And you heard Brent mention it, though, too. Like, can catch the football and be a little Alvin Kamara-esque because that's his guy. I just continue to like what I'm hearing from Brent and Austin every time we ask them about DGG and where Tennessee is here. And again, when you choose your spots a little bit more carefully in high school recruiting, as Josh Heupel in Tennessee football, it makes those battles you do pick that much more important. If you're going to be more selective in high school recruiting and emphasize transfer portal just a little bit more and say, why are we going to pay a kid $500,000 as a high 4-star, low 5-star to come in and not play right away as a freshman? And yeah, it might make our recruiting ranking look a little bit better, but then that guy's playing for Oklahoma next year or playing for Kansas State as a sophomore and isn't actually a part of our program for more than a year. Then, like, what's that recruiting ranking really serving us for? All right, well, being more selective is fine, and being more aggressive in January is all great. But, like, when you select those battles, you better win them.
You better win them.
And it's a big boy battle at the end of the day, and that's exactly what this one is. We are not overrating how important this recruitment is, I don't think. And there's a reason why we're asking these guys about this every single time they're on with us.
And you've been big on that part of it, though, too, like winning at the finish line.
Yes.
And I think
get it over
as
the
far
line.
as recruiting goes, and I think it's a better process when they go about it this way, though, as well. When they choose to say, all right, we're going to pass on, let's go, the lower end of the 4 stars to go after the higher end and the 5 stars. One that gives you a little bit more money to work with, which is why DGG is being reported as this is going to be one of the highest NIL for a running back. But you be strategic in not going to get Brendan Sorsby in the transfer portal, or you pass up on another quarterback or a wide receiver because you have recruited those guys in your building and you've developed them, like Braylon Staley, like Mike Matthews, like Tristan Keys. Like, there has been a consistency as of late with them strategically picking their guy. Last year, Tristan Keys was the guy, and on top of that, you bring in Faison Brandon as well. Like, I know the Adidas part probably played something in it, but screw it. Everybody else, you'd be a fool to think Oregon and Ohio State and Texas aren't using Nike.
Oh, it's no question. Yeah.
I mean, think about the young Ryan Williams. Like, he's a Nike athlete, if I'm not mistaken, at Alabama. Like, these things are part of the game, and the Vols are in that mixes with them as well. Now, none of that translates to wins and losses until you actually get on the field, and Heupel and his crew and his staff have to do their jobs as well. I'm enjoying what this is. We've lived in the pits of just foolishness for a while, and I'm glad to see they're at least attempting to show that, hey, this is big boy leagues that they're playing in.
When Baylor opens its season against Brentwood Academy on what may be a big TV game as well, I think that designation may come out in the next few weeks. That may be as interested as Tennessee fans have ever been in recent memory in a high school football game, because you could have 3 future Vols at least on the field between David Gabriel Georges at running back for Baylor, and then on the Brentwood Academy side, Kenneth Simon at inside linebacker and Keyshawn Bowman at wide receiver, who are both committed right now.
I forget. Yeah, both of them on the same team. Keyshawn Bowman,
and
too.
that's the type of 4-star in-state. He was never committed to Vandy.
I thought he did. Oh,
no, it was reported that they had a big offer and that he was going to, and then he never actually committed there. That's a recruitment that right now Tennessee has won. But that's 3 future Vols that may have a pretty immediate impact. I'll tell you what, too. I was on the field for that state championship game between those 2 teams. That was an instant classic in the rain last year in Chattanooga. Kenny Simon was laying some hits on DGG. I don't think he took from a lot of teams last year. Those guys went at it, and they may be teammates sooner rather than later. So, good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Love it. 615-737-1045, our number. There is a streak in sports that, as of this morning, has come to an end. Plus, more NFL headlines for you. How many of the top D tackles will the Titans play this season? That's next. Second half of the show in hour 3 getting started on a gloomy, rainy Friday morning. Glad you're with us. Whether you stop by on 104.5 FM, the 104.5 The Zone app, or YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch, you have come to the right place. For Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, myself, Will Bowling, pouring one out for one of the great streaks in sports that has come to an end this morning, Ramon.
What is it?
Scotty Scheffler is going to miss the cut.
Is he?
At the Scottish Open, which is taking place right now across the pond.
How? How does this happen? I mean, I know everybody has a bad day, but how does this happen for a guy like Scotty?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is it seriously? Is it like an injury that he's dealing with right now?
No injury. He's been a little up and down this year. Everyone's freaking out because he's finished second, I believe, like 7 or 8 times, and he's not won. The audacity to only finish top 2. Sky definitely not falling as much on Scotty as I think people on social media often make it out to be. But he has had some rough starts to weekends. That has been the thing that has plagued him. He's had some rough Thursdays and Fridays.
Just can't get over the hump. Is it new clubs? I mean, we don't know.
No, he just had some rough Thursdays and Fridays. He's been inconsistent off the tee. He's missed more fairways than he has in previous years. He's been more inconsistent. He is going to miss the cut today for the first time since 2022. 1,428 days ago at the 2022 FedEx St. Jude Championship.
What's crazy is he's missing the cut this weekend and also hasn't finished first, you said, in a while in these tournaments?
Not since, I believe, the Amex, which would have been January 23rd or 24th, the end of January. Yeah.
He's still the top earner for the PGA Tour this year as well. I mean,
I'm sure he is. I mean, do you know that or are you asking?
I know that. I'm looking at it right now. It's him and Matt Fitzpatrick at number 2 and Cam Young in 3.
So Matt Fitzpatrick now has the longest consecutive cuts made streak on tour with 28. Scotty had made 78 consecutive cuts. He's cut it close, no pun intended, a lot this year, too. He's had a number of tournaments where he's made it by a shot or 2.
I'm not deep into the golf world as you may be, because I know you love it and you want to perfect it.
I do.
Why aren't we hearing more about Matt Fitzpatrick? He's second in earnings right now, second in FedEx Cup points, and number 1 in wins with 3 this year. And this is one of the first times I've heard of Matt Fitzpatrick at this extent. Yeah,
I think that's more of
I'm an outsider.
You being an outsider thing, because
he's cooking.
One of the, I would say he doesn't have one of the big personalities on tour. He's kind of just a normal guy.
I hate that has to matter.
He's European, he's British.
Okay.
I mean, young, good golfer, was a part of the European Ryder Cup team that embarrassed us at Bethpage last fall. Yeah, he's a good young player. His brother just made the tour as well because they played the Zurich Classic. That's kind of a doubles is not the way to put it, but it's like two-man like match play. Okay. And if you win on tour, then you get your tour card because there are sponsor exemptions and things. So Matt's brother, I believe it's Alex Fitzpatrick, got his tour card by playing with Matt and winning a tournament that was more match play and
qualified
pairings. Yeah, and so that got him on tour. And Alex has had a good year too. So no, Matt's is one of the nice guys on tour for sure. He is very, very well liked, and he's the one that was booed and cheered against when he was up against an American golfer earlier this year at the Players Championship and had to kind of be like, well, congrats to him. I know I'm on. Like he handled it very well and was very polite and professional about it when fans were maybe a bit over eager to root against him, which I don't really love on tour for European guys.
Has golf gotten more, I guess, electric from the fans' perspective? And
yes.
It has?
Yes.
Just naturally it was going to happen with the personalities?
I think from a number of reasons, right? Like I think first and foremost, it was the Players Championship against Cam Young, by the way, where he was booed and people were rooting for Cam Young this past season. So I think there are a number of things to it. I think first of all, you have had more big tournaments in New York. I think it's number one. New York golfers and New York sports fans a bit more aggressive. I think you have the game growing post-COVID, where a lot of people like me became COVID golfers.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to do.
Okay.
And so a lot of people that are more casual fans that may come to golf as more of a football, basketball, baseball kind of sport mentality who don't have as much long-term decorum and respect for the old school rules of golf fandom and all that sort of thing. I think have come to the sport with a little bit of a different mindset because they're so new to it and the sport has grown so exponentially for people just playing it casually. And I think more so the trends on social media and the ability to be viral on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram for saying something funny as a ball is hit. Like that's a very American thing of yelling mashed potatoes or light the candle or give me back my son, like things that have become really popular.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a Mel Gibson quote, movie quote.
Oh,
like give me back my son. The second of a tee shot is hit. Yeah, it's very weird.
Some of these dudes grew up on Caddyshack is what you tell.
Yeah, and just like social media has made it to where like, oh my gosh, look at what this guy says. The ball was hit. Like, oh, this is so funny. And people just try to one-up each other. So I think it's all those things kind of mixed in for sure.
Where is and what has happened to Jordan Spieth?
Oh, man, you just asked the question of the game of golf over the last 10 years because he has a cult following of people that thought he was the next Tiger Woods for years there when he was young and winning every major but one. And, yeah, a lot of folks have been asking what the heck happened to Jordan Spieth for the last 10 years. So, yeah, you do know golf if you're asking that question.
I know, and him, and there's one more as well because did he go up against Scotty Scheffler or Bryson DeChambeau?
Yeah, Bryson's another one who
just is it his
still
attitude?
A big he's big in the YouTube golf community, which that is a whole separate conversation of how big that is.
Whoa.
What?
The YouTube golfing community?
Oh yeah, you gotta dive down the rabbit hole of Bryson. So he will do like breaking 50 challenges with a celebrity. Like he's had the president play with him, he's had different athletes, he's had YouTubers, he's had celebrities, and he is like making a ton of YouTube content.
You know what that's a sign of?
What's that?
A man being washed and he knows it, so he's pivoting.
Washed? I don't know if I would call Bryson 100% washed. I mean, he's not in great form at the moment, but like last fall, he was playing pretty well on Live and was one of the marquee members of the U.S. Ryder Cup team. His big personality has become a bit more likable.
Okay.
Whereas at the beginning of his career, he was more of a villain. He kind of became a little bit of a sympathetic figure. Now I think he's kind of back to being a little bit more of a villain again. Like he 3D prints his irons.
Oh,
like
really?
he does things very much his own way. But he creates a ton of YouTube content. And there is a group of young golfers, like the young golf fan out there in the world is consuming golf on YouTube the same, if not more, than they're actually consuming the tour, like the PGA Tour. It's the only sport where you could say maybe the YouTube part of it and the creator side of the sport is as big of a deal, if not a bigger deal, in some generations and in some parts of the demographic than the actual professional league itself. Because you're so accessible and everyone can go play it. Like everyone can do it, and it's kind of fun and relatable to see bad golfers.
Yeah.
Like, is there any other sport where it's fun to watch people who aren't good at it as much as golf? Like watching a video of someone trying to break 90 for the first time is fun to me because you see yourself in it. Like it's really like the Barstool guys and their big podcast and Trent and Frankie and all those guys. Like a lot of people will know who that is. Like they are very popular because they'll do videos with big golfers. Well, like the three of them will play Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
On like a front nine or something, or they'll go out and hit the range with Tiger Woods, and like you're getting tips, but you're also like, I don't know, it's just casual and fun. Like you feel like you're out there with them.
Just like a conversation that you're having with these guys.
Very
I was just looking, and I'm not even sure if he's on the tour right now, but I'm looking at the PGA Tour player stats for 2026, and Bryson DeChambeau is not on this list.
He plays Live. He's not a PGA Tour
He's
player.
not even in. He didn't come back home?
No, not yet. Ask me again next year, but not yet.
Oh, that explains a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. No wonder he's doing YouTube stuff. He's just
it's part of it, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Not as many tournaments. He's more of a character, kind of marching to the beat of his own drum, and then he pops in for majors.
And no sign of Tiger as of late. Do you want to see him come back?
I don't. Yeah, I want to see him be healthy on and off the course. That's what I want to see. I want to see Tiger Woods be the best version of Tiger Woods. And if that means he gets to play golf, great. If that means that he only plays majors and is on the Champions Tour, great. I want what's best for Tiger at this point. Fair. And that's being healthy in more ways than one.
Yeah. I got you.
100%. Love Tiger. Love what he does for the game. Love the mentor he is to young players. But I'd love for Tiger to get right.
No doubt.
For sure. 615-737-1045. Titanomics. Wanting to talk Titans this morning. What's up? How we doing?
What's going on, Titanomics?
Hey, good morning, y'all. Will, hey, congratulations on getting married, man.
Thank you.
Go ahead and start planning that 1-year anniversary now.
Yeah, conversations happen for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I waited 7 years before we had our first honeymoon. I was in the military, and boot camp is where I spent my first year anniversary, and it just trickled on down ever since. But
okay.
Yeah, man. My question actually is about married life. Since I'm a married coach, I'm always studying marriage. Ramon,
yeah,
as an NFL player, professional, how do you manage a family in the NFL while you're in the NFL? Is it harder when you become a husband and a father? Is it more challenging, or is it just more relaxed? Do you have a bigger fire in your chest to get this money now?
Great question, Titanomics.
Thank you, Titanomics. Appreciate the call.
We had a little bit of this conversation yesterday, Matt. So I came into the league as a father. So I already had that pressure that I enjoyed on performing and sustaining what I'd already provided to him. And I will say this, though, too. Seeing my teammates have kids, whether it be daughters and sons and twins, I've seen them all have each one of them. It does shift their focus from how you plan your free time. Like the Thursday night film sessions, I was making it a point to make sure that I got back home at a decent enough time to see the boys go to bed, have some time with the wife. And that's why I still do what I do right now as well, as far as on Fridays. Fridays was the day that I felt like was the most normal day. I'm not sure what it's going to be like for you, Titanomics, as far as being a high school coach or football coach as you are right now. But make sure you carve out a day or set hours that say, this is my normal day. We will go on a date. We will at least have a day date, a night date, or we will watch a movie together and stuff like that, because it does shift and change a little bit. I would say the biggest thing and you got to have a family that understands what you're doing and what your goal and purposes are too. Mm-hmm. You said, how do you handle your wife and kids or your spouse and kids? The real question is, how do they handle you? Because if you are a bread earner and they enjoy what you do as well, then they also understand that there are compromises that have to be made on their end too. That's why now in retirement, my wife gets whatever she wants. My kids will tell you, I told him when I was done, like, hey, this is one of them situations where I belong to them now. If the boys got to be somewhere, I'm going to be there if I can, unless there's a prior obligation and something from them pops up. Mm-hmm. That's what I would tell you. If you got free time, give it to them, because there will be a lot of guilt. And even I still have some of it too. It's like, I'll do stuff like, well, make sure we make this up. That's the one piece of advice I would give to you. Have normal days, or at least a stretch of like 6 to 8 hours where it's dedicated to family. And at that point, everybody will understand if dad's gone or if mom coaches are gone, it's for a particular reason they still love us.
Sure.
It's balance.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a hard balance to achieve, I'm sure.
And you're going to be tired.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. I can't imagine.
You're going to be tired. So that's it never ends. But I enjoy it. I wouldn't trade it, and I don't think my family would too. I even know some of my friends that have coached and done a lot of that other stuff. Mm-hmm. Their families conditioned them to be gone. They much rather them be out of the house sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but like their kids are just okay with them being gone. I would suggest don't have it be that way.
How long did it take you to get into a routine you were comfortable with in the NFL in terms of the film study, the treatment, family time? Like, when did you feel like you had a grasp on what a normal week was supposed to look like for you to be at your best in the league?
I ain't gonna lie, I had to mature. Those first 3 years or so was just like money, lifestyle, this and that. Like, I would say about 5 to 6 years.
Wow. That long?
Yeah. Like, to really understand, can't spend this, can't do this, need to say no to this, spend time here. That doesn't matter in the end, Moan. Like, I saw a situation 1 or 2 times which is like, yeah, family is what matters in the end. And I would say, especially males are so young and dumb and immature. So it took me about 5 or 6 years before really realizing, like, okay, this is the balance. This is how we do it. It's cool going on dates. It's cool going to my kids' soccer games before we go to the team hotel. Like, there's a lot of that kind of goes into, you hear that? Soccer games before going to.
There we go.
Yeah. But
love that.
It's about 5 years, 6 years. And that's why I think you see finding that balance. I'll be quite honest with you. The other side of it is, if some dudes that don't find it when they retire, divorce usually goes up at that point because they're not used to finding that balance of forcing themselves into that world. Like, even the coaches. The coaches deal with that just as much as, because I think they spend more time away from their family than the players do. I know they do. The players can go home at 6 o'clock. The coaches are there to 9:30, 10. And that's the difference with them. And go home, go to sleep, wake back up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do it again. It's not for the weak, those coaches, or the players' jobs. But I will say this again, it is a privilege to be a part of it.
Sure. This season, the Tennessee Titans will see 4 of the top 10 defensive tackles in the league, according to the executives, scouts, and coaches list via Jeremy Fowler at ESPN.com. Jeffrey Simmons, number 2 on the list, so maybe 5. They'll see Jeffrey Simmons. He'll just play for us, obviously. Jalen Carter for the Philadelphia Eagles, 3rd on the list. Quinnen Williams of the Dallas Cowboys at number 6. Dexter Lawrence of the Cincinnati Bengals at number 7. And Jordan Davis of the Philadelphia Eagles at number 10. Jeffrey Simmons is the only AFC South defensive tackle ranked in the top 10 by executives, scouts, and coaches at ESPN.com. It's an area where the Titans have the biggest strength in terms of interior defensive line.
It is. I guess the cool thing is, though, too, at least it's just individuals that the Titans have to play this year, not just full strong teams. Like, I know the Eagles are going to be good, but nobody expected Denver to really be as good as they are. The Patriots as a team collectively being as good as they are. Like, I think you can handle better being able to game plan for Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis in these situations instead of it being the entire team just being strong. Because I don't know what Philly's going to be. I know they're going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be atop of the top as they have been in years past with what the NFC is. And I guess the other one, too, is the Quinnen Williams. I'm interested to see what a full offseason he is as a Dallas Cowboy. That one, to me, and the type of player he is, and Dallas has been working on that defense, too. But this is also one of them pay years for a guy like Peter Skoronski. And also it's going to be a big test for whoever the right guard is for this team, too.
That's an important one.
It is.
I agree with what Buck said yesterday on his show, talking about the right guard situation. It does feel a lot like 2019 when Nate Davis was the future, but they weren't going to throw him out there week 1. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not sure whoever starts week 1 for the Titans is the guy who's at right guard by the time you get to Quinnen Williams. Because Cordell Volson may get the first crack at this in week 1, but that doesn't mean Fernando Carmona or Jackson Slater aren't in there by week 5 or 6. It was Jamil Douglas and Nate Davis in that 2019 season.
Really? Mm-hmm. I wonder what got Jamil Douglas to win it to start off then.
As a rule, and Bucks mentioned it yesterday too, and he's right. Like, as a rule, the Mike Vrabel staff was a bit hesitant to put a rookie out there right away.
I get it.
And typically you had to wait until about a month into the season, 6 weeks into the season to see that rookie start to really take over a starting role. With some key exceptions, obviously, in first-round picks and some second-round picks. But, I mean, when they drafted Rashaan Evans, that was when Will Compton was brought in here to kind of be the guy before Rashaan Evans could totally take over. And that took a little bit of time. Like, part of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And first-round picks are exceptions, but I'm not so sure the person who starts the season is the one who ends the season for the Titans at right guard.
The good thing is they got young guys. Let's say if it's Cordell Volson started off and Jackson Slater takes over one of the young guys, like, you're still in a position where the motivation behind that starter is still there because they're still young. My second year, overtook a vet who was in a contract year, and this dude just kind of spiraled out after I took over the starting spot. And that's the only point I mean. Like, the focus to keep your depth there is in already because you got young guys that are motivated to compete still. It's just one of those roster planning things.
Well, as you know, you're still going to be around probably. Like, if you had a 1-year pro that's a vet, has his job taken, you're maybe more likely to check out because you're just going to go somewhere else the next year. But if you are Jackson Slater and you come in and maybe you get taken back out, you still have the opportunity to win the job back because you're only in year 2 of a 4-year contract. And Bert made a good point about it yesterday on Buck's show too. Like, it's really okay to have a day 3 draft pick be a backup.
It is.
And to have to take a little bit of time to maybe earn that starting job. That's what those draft picks are for, filling out your entire depth chart. It doesn't make someone a bad pick when they're picked in the 5th or 6th round if that player is a solid backup.
No doubt.
That's what you want.
I wonder who answers the call, though, between having to go against Solomon Thomas, John Franklin Myers, and Jeffrey Simmons daily.
Pat Coogan part of it as well. Andre James, someone that brought in who's not an empty chair.
No doubt.
At center, who's played for Carmen Brasillo before it. It's a lot of mixing and matching that needs to happen on the offensive line, and it's something we'll follow closely here coming up in 18 days. We get to watch our first practices. First practice will be out there for July 29th.
And can we have a disclaimer? Not because I'm an offensive line. We're not trying to do this O-line talk each
No, I mean...
I'd much rather not.
Yeah, it is just the problem spot for this team over the last 5 years, and any Titans fan is going to know that. But yeah, we don't just talk about offensive line because Ramon played it. We talk about it because Ramon played it and because it's been the worst position group on this team by a pretty wide margin over the last 5 years.
Consistently.
Coming up, who are the breakout star candidates on the Titans? We'll tell you next. For over 50 years, Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. I have benefited from that kind of service at Brentwood Jewelry, the kind of service you get from a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations. They are deeply rooted in the Middle Tennessee community. From Salem Service and Special Forces to his son serving as local firefighters, the Imamali family is dedicated to giving back. In a time that is imperative to support local, shop Brentwood Jewelry. You can check out their stock online at brentwoodjewelry.com. You can go by and see them at 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Getting married last month, they made every part of that process so easy. Talking with my now wife through the different options, understanding the kinds of services that they could provide to us on all fronts, from engagement rings to all the bling that we had in our ceremony. Brentwood Jewelry is the place to go. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. That's Brentwood Jewelry, online at brentwoodjewelry.com. Hour 3 continues on Ramon and Will in studio on a rainy morning. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins at Ramon and Will on Twitter and wherever you download podcasts at 10 a.m. every morning. So Ben Solak has a piece at ESPN.com, another list for you during the season of lists that we are in the middle of here in early July about breakout star candidates for each team. And for the Titans, he says Gunnar Helm, writing about the tools of an NFL starter that he has: length, size, speed, ball skills above the rim / away from his frame, and toughness through contact. Said if he's an A+ in any one trait, it's his ability to track and adjust to the football. He makes the sort of tough downfield catches a tight end needs to make in order to become an explosive play receiver. Ramon, do you agree that Gunnar Helm is the right choice as a breakout star candidate for the Tennessee Titans in 2026?
I think he could be, for sure. I think when you look at Daniel Bellinger being brought in also as the veteran tight end, but not necessarily a pass catcher. Like, I view Gunnar Helm as that guy. Like, he's a good blocker at the line of scrimmage, not the best or the greatest that you'd expect. I think that's the Daniel Bellinger side of this signing that gives support to a guy to allow Gunnar Helm to get out in space. We saw some of his catches last year where he was double catching on the sideline and getting up the field. He has the understanding of his body, the leverage that it takes for him to get open. And then again, the routes that he run aren't just, 5-yard stops. He's running wide receiver routes or invading a space on the field that allows only him to go up for the football in those moments. I think with more opportunity with this style of offense, he's capable of being that guy to take that next step. Most definitely will.
I think it's a good pick. Is it the best pick?
Best pick? I think the best pick might end up being Cordell Flott.
Really? Interesting.
I know he's not on this list, but I view him as a guy that could really set himself up to being one of the best corners in the league, considering I think how teams are going to try to attack him, what this defensive line can provide for him, and just the space and coverages that I feel like Saleh will have this group in. They got a good group of support in the front seven. His ability to just be able to be in coverage, back up the contract that he has, and a true outside corner, I think he could be in that conversation if stuff goes his way, Will.
Do you think he's the kind of guy that follows a number one receiver?
I think in the end, the expectation will be there. If we're looking at just the way this team is set up, Alontae Taylor is most definitely the signing that everybody was gushing over. But when you look at what Cordell Flott can provide for this team on being an outside guy primarily, yeah, it's I don't want to say it's just natural to him, so it should be good, but this is what he's done the most of his career.
Well, I think people were gushing over Alontae Taylor because he's local.
Yeah, I get that.
Because he's from Coffee County and went to Tennessee. And obviously because he's a good player. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take anything away from Alontae, but to me, Cordell Flott is cornerback one. I think Alontae Taylor's best home is inside. I'm not sure he is a full-time nickel. You pay him as much as you paid him. I think he is another outside corner, but I look forward to the day, and maybe it's 2027 until that day comes, that the Titans can go get a lockdown corner, which, again, you usually have to draft those in the first or second round to get them. But the perfect world I'd love to live in is you draft a lockdown corner. Cordell Flott is a really good second corner, and Alontae Taylor is a really good nickel. Mm-hmm. Because then all of a sudden we're talking about one of the better secondaries that's not just league average, but is, if you find that lockdown corner, and again, way easier said than done, absolutely, you're talking about a secondary that could be really dang good. You're probably a year away from getting to that. You want to get back to league average in a number of places.
Yep.
And that feels a lot like the goal of this season. Can we get back to solid? No pun intended with Salah as the coach's name. I think Flott's a good one.
And just real quick, too, just PFF in it per se, too. He's only technically, not going to have one bad or down year. That was his second year, and I can get that. The second-year adjustment is always the thing. Then he bounced back the next year and has a really good grade and really good coverage scores as well. And each year he's gradually gotten better. As I said, just coverage was what you want him to do. What he does as far as tackling, man, that's usually man to a man. Is he going to get physical? We will see. But as far as coverage goes, his coverage grade from PFF from his rookie year in 22 to last year in 2025 had 70.7. Had that dip in 2023, his second year, 59.4. And 2024, his third year, it bounces right back. This is what we're looking for in J.C. Latham this year, right? Like, second-year dip, third-year jump. We got to see that one because now we know you understand the game. Goes back up as far as coverage grade as 61.7, and then he bounces back again last year with a 68.1, which really puts him into the green as far as that go. Not a blue chipper, but a guy that could really be solid. And if given the opportunity and continues to ascend up in his career, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8 are usually your prime years when it comes down to your career. What is he in age-wise? He's
24. He's younger than some draft prospects.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing you love about Cordell Flott is you feel like in some ways, yes, it's a second contract. Yes, he's making a lot of money. He is a similar age profile to a lot of your guys that are either on rookie contracts or are literally rookies.
No doubt.
He's around the same age as Fernando Carmona and Pat Coogan.
No, seriously.
And he's on his second deal.
I think they may be older. Carmona, is he older than him? I'm probably just throwing it out there.
No, I think he actually might be.
He might be. So, like, he was drafted as a young 20-year-old, basically. Mm-hmm. And now this is where that, like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those years right there are usually the prime.
Carmona turned 24 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Fernando.
Happy birthday, Fernando. I did see that posting.
Yeah, right.
But that's why I'm putting Cordell Flott in at least in the conversation. This is a prediction article that we're looking at, a list article. Mm-hmm. If Gunnar Helm's in that conversation, I think a guy who's been 4 years into the league that's just 24 years old and Cordell Flott fits that bill as well.
Cordell Flott, a third-round pick in 2022 by the New York Giants from Saraland, Alabama.
Saraland.
Not far away. Good high school football.
Spot too? I think so. Saraland barbecue.
If it's anywhere in Alabama, they got a barbecue spot.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, are you thinking of Dreamland? Dreamland is the iconic one.
That's the one.
Great spot. Spot. He turns 25 August 24th. Cordell Flott does.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it simple. I think it's Carnell Tate. I think Carnell Tate is a potential breakout candidate for the Titans this year. I think Carnell Tate looks like a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long watching him practice to look at him and say, oh, that's a number 1 receiver. The way he high points the ball, the way he plucks the football over corners, the way he moves, the way I think he's going to run routes Cam Ward likes to throw, vertical ones down the field. I think considering the skill set that he has, being one of 2 ex-receivers on this team, him and Alec Imaner aren't exactly the same, but they're going to run a lot of those vertical routes. And I saw Cam Ward try to throw a lot of those and do so unsuccessfully last season. If he can give his guys a chance down the field, and his guy specifically named Carnell Tate, I think there is a world of opportunity for Carnell Tate to fill up the stat sheet this year. I really do. And I think some of those will be in game-defining moments, in the red zone, on third downs with sure hands. I think some of those are maybe even too as you're trying to chip away at deficits and you're throwing the football a lot and you're airing it out and you're trusting your guy. I think Carnell Tate is the guy. I am buying all of the stock.
You're in.
I'm in. I think Carnell Tate is the breakout star, and I think he proves to everyone why he was worthy of the 4th overall pick this season.
I don't think that's a bad selection, simply because he's coming from a place in Coach Hartline that's sent out polished wide receiver after polished wide receiver. My only question mark around Carnell Tate is true junior age coming into the NFL, as being just the guy. The good part that he does have coming to this team is he does have veterans around us, so it's not just like it's him.
It's not Carnell Tate or bust.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's where, to your point, his ability to get open and just display his talent that we've seen, the catchability that he has, if they still did the sports science on ESPN, he would be a showcase, if not this summer, next summer. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree.
With what we've seen on the practice field so far.
89th percentile for separation and production versus man coverage. 84th percentile from Matt Harmon's reception perception against press coverage. 6 receiving touchdowns on contested targets in 2025 for Carnell Tate. Was tied for most among Power 4 wide receivers, according to Pro Football Focus. He's the exact skill set of receiver that you needed to get in the draft. The Titans struggled last season against press man coverage on money downs. On 3rd down and 8, corners were all over Titans receivers. The offensive line couldn't block long enough for Cam to allow them to get open. And even if he did have, I think, more time to throw and had a little bit more time to sit there with better pass protection, I'm still not sure that receiving core was getting the amount of separation that it needed in order for Cam to have success against man coverage. My question is, can you moss NFL DBs the way you mossed Big Ten DBs and some SEC DBs? Not a foregone conclusion. And a lot of his success, Cardell Tate, early on in OTAs was against Micah Robinson.
That's true.
Without Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott out there, no disrespect to Micah, who's a great special teams player, and I think really improved from day one to the final day of minicamp and had the last play of minicamp, which was an interception before we broke for this break that we're in the middle of before training camp. Like Micah's made a good name for himself, but a lot of the success that Tate had early was against him.
Yeah.
What does that look like against number one corners?
But you know what? To flip that coin, I'd much rather that be the case. Because if it was the opposite, then we were saying he can't even beat, Micah. So that's the other side of the coin is when you line up in competition and you know you're superior to somebody, you're supposed to make them be that way. And I'm not saying superior in a sense, but the fact that he's beating him, who's still already a pro athlete and not the top tier guy, that's the tip of the cap.
Well,
right
and two, to be fair,
I know that's what you're saying, but most definitely
to be fair you're right. To both guys, even players who are just special teams players in name only, on NFL teams are still better than most, if not all, college players. Like 95% of college players. The first round draft picks, the second round draft picks maybe are exceptions to that, but Micah Robinson is still a tougher test than what Carnell Tate is going up against on a Saturday in the Big Ten. That's no slight of the Big Ten. I'd say the same about the SEC. So he still gets credit for winning one-on-one battles against Micah Robinson. To be fair, Micah Robinson started to win more of his fair share as well later on in camp. And that's what you want at NFL practices. That's what you want at any football practice. You want to give and take. You don't want one guy dominating all the time. You want a little bit of a get back. And I think Micah Robinson got his. But to be fair, my question again is, how do teams defend the Tennessee Titans? When you are meeting on Wednesdays at 31 other NFL facilities or for this team on 17 weeks, on 17 Wednesdays, who are you trying to take away? Is it Wan'Dale Robinson first? Is it the run game first to make the Titans predictable? Is it Carnell Tate? Are number one corners like a Derek Stingley following Carnell Tate? Does it depend on the down? Are you going with tendency? Are you still matched up on Calvin Ridley a little bit? The end goal is not for the Titans to make Carnell Tate as good as he can be. The goal is to make the Titans' offense as good as it can be. And if that means Carnell Tate's running some routes to open up things for Wan'Dale Robinson, great. If it means that Wan'Dale is running things to open up for Tate, great.
Yeah.
So I think the way all of those things fit together, and the Calvin Ridley of it all is interesting because how healthy is he and how does he look coming off of a really intense injury last season at the age that he's at? Because we were talking about Calvin and Cam nonstop this time last year. And how the connection between those two is so much better than it ever was with Will Levis. And then the lights came on and too many footballs hit the ground.
Yeah.
Some through his fault, some from Cam's fault.
I was questioning a little bit the travel in preseason to San Francisco, but I'll say this. I think it will be necessary for this joint practice because you're looking at the corners on this team. Renardo Green, who's a seasoned vet in this league right now, and Diamador Lenore. Those two corners right there, like, we got to answer quickly on Carnell Tate in those joint practices. And then on the other side as well, you got Ricky Pearsall versus Alontae. And against Cordell Flott, you can have Mike Evans if he's practicing. If he's practicing.
You won't have Brandon Ayuk, that's for sure.
You will not have Brandon Ayuk. But the point that I'm making with Christian Kirk being a part of that group as well is they will be tested week one of joint practices.
Kevin Winston Jr. on George Kittle.
Oh, my goodness. If he's held. Well, yeah. Did you see him running that tight end you as well?
No, I didn't.
He's running, but I don't know how close he is to being ready. But still a great test in general, though. That is a great matchup for a preseason joint practice group.
There is a player that I can't quit who I think is another breakout candidate who we have talked about quite a bit. We'll do that next. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Ramon Will, 104.5 The Zone.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
There is a player on the Tennessee Titans that I feel like we all can't quit. And I say that as a good thing because I don't want to quit this player. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling on Ramon and Will. Going into a contract year, if I could guarantee 17 healthy games, I believe, Ramon, are about to see the very best of Tajay Spears.
Really?
We've said this before. And I don't think it's Tajay's fault that we haven't yet seen the best of him because he has been plagued by the injury bug.
Yeah.
This is year 4. How often do we see the stars all align for a player when they're in a contract year and things just kind of work themselves out? I know Nick Singleton is an exciting young running back. Mm-hmm. I think Tony Pollard is still underrated in what he supplies this team on and off the field and the weapon that he is. I'm not trying to get rid of either of those two. But I look at Tajay Spears as having the most forced missed tackles on receptions of any running back in the NFL last year. He forced 26 missed tackles on catches last season. And I see the way I think Brian Daboll is going to use running backs in the pass game. And I see Tajay Spears being a weapon as a slot receiver and as a receiving back out of the backfield for Cam Ward and this offense this season. Tell me where I am right or wrong.
I think you're right on everything that we hope to project. That's been the issue with Tajay. Like, if you've ever met Tajay in person, he's an awesome dude.
He really is.
And
he is an easy guy to root for.
And that's the part of where if you see him be healthy, then you know that you're going to get the best out of him because the drive is there, the want is there, the mentality is there as well. And just with what we've seen so far this spring of Tajay, I will say I think the work has been there.
I think so too.
I'm not sure if he's added muscle, but it looks like the conditioning has been a big part of his offseason.
He looks good. Yep.
He looks good. The way we've seen this offense, and again, and just our short studies of what the Giants have run and passed, this offense, to your point, is suited for a guy like him. It's Big Boss Bert just walked in here and just said, like, well, where are the yards going to go if there are so many guys that can fit into this role that Tajay can fulfill?
Because they got a lot of slot options.
They do. And, like, Tajay is an easy break glass in case of emergency option every single play that he's in. Either running the ball. I've seen them in practices break away. Big runs. You see him in between the tackles. You see him go outside. And none of those are a question if Tajay's got the ball in his hand. The only question that Tajay Spears has is availability.
Yeah, can you stay healthy running between the tackles?
And here's the thing. You're right. This year, I don't know what it is psychologically for guys in that last year of that contract. They just have the burst. It happens. Then the sexy part for the Titans is this. They'll be able to tender him. You know, it's that side of it as well. They can extend one out to probably a second-round tender if he does prove that he could be a bell cow, but also more than that, just a weapon for this offense. Teams that have to give up a second-round pick to get him, that allows you to also still have the other running backs that you have in this room at a safety net with Tajay being a premier guy next year. And I'm not pushing Tony Pollard out or anything like that, but that's just the way the economics of this sport work if you don't go get a Jeremiah Love in the draft.
Definitely.
I'm with you. He's hard to quit, and I don't want to make Tajay an inexperience in any way sound like a charity when you speak of the person.
No, I don't think he is.
He's a great dude that you want to see win, but he's also just a daggone phenomenal athlete that deserves to be healthy and to be given that opportunity.
He is a human being you can't help but root for.
Easy, man.
Yeah, you think of all the people who are just happy and excited to be playing football each and every day on that practice field. He is right up there at the top of the list. He has got an infectious personality, and that's not the reason why I say him. I say him maybe a little bit because of that, but also because I just think he really fits what Daboll wants. And I think that, again, if you could guarantee a fully healthy season, I think you see him in a contract year be the best version of himself.
I'm looking forward to it.
Like if he could give you 400 to 500 receiving yards, I think that's not totally out of the question if you guaranteed 17 games healthy. Obviously, I can't do that. I wish I could. I'd guarantee it for everybody. But that's the kind of slot weapon that he is. And so is Wan'Dale Robinson. So is Chimdike. So is Xavier Restrepo. And in some ways, the receiving backs that they have, Michael Carter being another one of them, Nick Singleton being another one of them, who is more of a receiving back than Tony Pollard is, makes it harder for other slot receivers to get on the field and run some of those same underneath routes.
The comments in the chat are exactly what the conversation is. It's exactly what this conversation has been. We've heard the same thing year in and year out about Tajay. We've expressed that. This is the offseason conversation of if Tajay does stay healthy.
You see it all the time. Guys in contract years, it just sometimes bounces their way, and it works out.
I feel them. Somebody put in here, broken record. But that's the thing.
Oh, I know.
He's still under contract. He's healthy right now. He just got to make it to the finish line.
Well, and Cam needs playmakers who can turn a little into a lot. Cam needs to learn how to take the check down to routes run by guys like Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
That's an important step in his maturation.
Yeah, this is fascinating. From the chat said, if Spears does have a good season, do you sign him?
I don't know. Tell me the record, the stats. What does Tony do? What does Singleton do? There's no way I can answer that today with any level of confidence.
I know.
I'd love to, but I can't.
But this individual says no. Like, the one thing that you do have in your favor, if that is your answer, is there is a deep room with this running back, like, cluster that they have inside of it. And each one of these guys got something specific about him. Like, Julius Chestnut, to me, can he run the ball? Yeah, he can. He can be a short yardage guy. But at the same time, he's also your special teams king. So, like, guys making the team and contributing might be more than just a position, especially outside of the top two guys. And the top two is Pollard and Tajay.
That's where you start to run into running backs battling with safeties and linebackers and tight ends for roster spots because special teams value is a tiebreaker.
We hadn't spoken about it much at all. Where's Michael Carter versus Tajay in this conversation? Because the reality of it is,
I think Tajay's got a pretty sizable lead there.
Yeah. Could be true. Yeah. Training camp writes its own story each and every year.
Nick Singleton is also a Spears-like talent as a pass catcher.
Every year there's a surprise is my only question.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, how important is it to have another receiving back or a special teams back or a Khalil Mullings between the tackles back coming out of camp?
I know.
Because Khalil Mullings and Julius Chestnut also fill roles that Tajay and Singleton and Carter don't do as well.
Facts.
Not their skill sets.
Facts.
So you're looking for every down back, receiving back, power/special teams back. And that is kind of like filling three different positions.
I could usually look at a list and be like, yeah, that guy probably be cut. That guy be cut.
I got no clue at running back.
I can't do it with this group.
Yeah.
We've yet to see much out of Khalil, but at the same time, there's something in the tank. So I'm very fascinated in watching this offensive side of the ball delegate reps and also pick the final three that may end up on a roster and who's also a practice squad. Because you bring up a valid point, and like Nick Singleton can be a home run hitter at any point in time.
And I think, too, we get too conditioned sometimes into replacing something that's working. This team has made so many changes the past 2 years, but some things aren't broken.
All right.
I know the Jeremiah Love hype was what it was, and we were on board with it, and it made a lot of sense, and he was a dynamic playmaker, but that also doesn't mean that Tony Pollard has failed you with any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Like, we get a comment that says, no, do not say Spears. Goodbye, Pollard.
Dang.
I don't think that's totally fair to Tony. I don't think it's fair at all to Tony. And 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons and a guy that's continued to show up and just be solid despite the lack of help around him, the lack of a passing game to give him lanes, the lack of a consistent offensive line. He's been available for all but one game in his 2 seasons as a Tennessee Titan. He's been ready. Don't let your love of Jeremiah Love turn into hate and lack of patience with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is far from the worst free agent acquisition that's been made by this team over the last 3 years. Far from it.
Yeah.
Don't try to push him out the door.
Don't do it. Well, Randy Jordan loves him.
I think you can do way worse. Way worse. I think the disrespect is crazy for Tony Pollard. I get the frustration with Tajay's injuries. It's not his fault. Totally, but I understand that frustration. But on Tony, I'm not going to hear any Tony Pollard slander. Right. I'm just really not.
No doubt.
Tony Pollard could have easily checked out and tried to force his way out and said, you know what, I'm good. I could go be a running back 2 on a Super Bowl contender right now and make money, catch a lot of passes, and not take nearly this many hits. I've seen how many hits that guy has gone through at field level, and I've talked with him, and he is always available and will talk with us and just keep showing up and being a pro.
No doubt.
That is one thing I just don't really have a lot of time for.
With you.
Is the Tony Pollard disrespect.
I have no notes, no additions whatsoever on that one. You spoke that one perfectly. Stoney Keeley in the chat put that in there as well. Where does all the Pollard hate come from?
You can love what Jeremiah Love could have given you without making that a down thing about Tony Pollard.
But even still, Tony's dealt with this group not being that good.
Yeah.
And like to not get Jeremiah Love also gives you Carnell Tate, which why you can read the tea leaves as to the why right now.
When Corey Levin started to play center last year, Tony Pollard looked a lot better.
Yeah, man.
All I'm saying.
The group does matter.
When this team started to embrace being a run-first football team, play cold weather football last year, and they had some semblance of run blocking and consistency.
Tony brought it home.
He held up his end of the bargain.
Yeah, he did.
Coming up, your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Ron Slay at 9:20 for his weekly visit. If you're sleeping in earlier this morning, Brent Hubbs of AllQuest joined us for his weekly visit and gave us the absolute latest on David Gabriel Georges and Tennessee. You'll want to hear what he had to say about a big recruitment for a big talent out of Baylor and Chattanooga after this.
.903, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. France, they're moving on to their third straight World Cup semifinal after beating Morocco 2-0 yesterday in Foxborough. Kylian Mbappe tallied his 8th goal of the tournament, which ties Lionel Messi for the lead in the Golden Boot race. Mbappe also added an assist before he exited in the 77th minute early with an ankle injury. France will now face the winner of today's match, which takes place between Spain and Belgium. at 2 p.m. on Fox at SoFi Stadium. And in some golf news at the Scottish Open this morning, Scotty Scheffler is headed for the first missed cut in 4 years. Scheffler has made the cut in 78 consecutive events dating all the way back to 2022, but has stumbled through a round of 2 over of 72 on Friday. The projected cut is at 2 under. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news you want on your home for the Titans involves. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Off we go into the fourth and final hour this morning. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. Justin Hawkins at the controls. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. Ron Slay on the way in 15 minutes. Probably on the way driving up right now, I would assume. I hope.
I would think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, coming from 65, going 65 northward from Renwood, I know it's probably going to be an accident, though. So.
Well, there were multiple raindrops that have fallen over the last 12 hours, so everyone's going to forget how to drive. But that's okay. It happens.
No doubt. I got a nice submission from the group YouTube chat about the Pollard stuff, too. We were just finishing that conversation up a second ago.
Sure.
We were also talking about some soccer on break, too, that I kind of want to bring to the
conversation you were leading.
I was leading. Mm-hmm. You didn't even bring it up. Mm-hmm. But I love the name, too. It's my guy, Downtown Funky Stuff Malone. Oh. We're having a conversation about Pollard, and he said this, and it kind of brings a reality to what the situation is that Pollard was presented with last year. And he even backed it up by also bringing up Jeremiah Love later in the comment and said Pollard was almost a top 10 rusher last season, and the O-line was awful. Tony P is a very good running back, extremely underrated. And then
well said.
The Jeremiah Love side of it is Jeremiah Love also had one of the best college offensive lines that were playing against, and I say this every time when we're looking at good teams beat other teams in college or the ones that highly recruit versus others, and just the age gap. Like, this is Notre Dame's 21, 22, 23-year-olds going against maybe a 17-year-old defensive lineman.
Yeah, they got grown men up front in the trenches.
Exactly. And I'm not
a bad thing. Yeah, no.
Blanket Jeremiah Love at all. Like, if he was here in Nashville, Tennessee, I think the expectation would be that, yes, he has that talent in him. But the production that Tony Pollard's had as a pro with this offensive line against the defenses that they played against last year needs a little bit more respect on him.
Well, and no pass game.
That's a yes.
Titans have been one of the worst throwing teams in the league the last 2 years, in the years that he has been here. And all he's done is produce.
You line up in 12 personnel, the next thing you know, like every team in the world know that there's no threat for you to really pass the ball down the field.
Right.
Like, it's a run, and Tony's getting the ball and might be 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and that's just it.
2 years, yeah. This is year 3.
Yeah, but like that is a fascinating approach to the J. Cole song. Like, love yours. Legitimately. Like, this is one of those moments where you don't act like I'm not saying that you don't criticize your players and want better. Mm-hmm. But this is also a situation in which Tony Pollard's not bad. I get the conversation continually about Tajay Spears and the injuries, but he's still yours. You know the talent is there, and it'd be shameful for somebody to treat this like an Aaron Brewer situation. Like, man, I wish we still had him. Like, I don't know, like, that's the side of the coin where guys in the right offense, right health, and right moments take advantage of it.
I don't think we talk enough about I think we do, because we've spoken about it a ton. You and I do. I don't think we talk enough about how different this offense looked when it started to learn how to run the ball the last 5 games of the season last year. They beat Cleveland 31-29. Tony goes 25 for 161 and 2 touchdowns, 6.4 yards per carry. They lose to the Niners 37-24 when literally every safety on the team got hurt on defense. Tony still goes 14 for 104 and a touchdown, 7.4 a carry.
Damn.
They were competitive in that game, although they did come up short. They beat the Chiefs. Tony goes 21 for 102, 4.9 per carry. They lose 34-26 to a much improved Saints team who was not close to what their record said they were by the time the Titans saw them, and Tyler Shuck was playing quarterback. Tony goes 18 for 85, 4.7 yards per carry, had a couple of catches in that game. And then the Cam injury obviously happens in week 7, or the week 18, week 7, the 17th game against Jacksonville. He only goes 14 for 48 and was basically rested late in that game because it was the last game of the season, and Cam's not in, so let's just go ahead and protect anybody's health at this point. Last 5 games of the season last year, Titans went 2-3. Tony Pollard carried the ball 92 times for 500 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns.
Solid.
What does this offense look like if it can sustain some sort of ground game consistency for 17 games and not just 5? Obviously, easier said than done. Obviously, your offensive line has got to hold up that end of the bargain, and I think this offensive line is about the same level it was last year. I don't think they're worse. I also don't think they're considerably better. But what if you can run the game, run the ball like that? What does that mean for Cam? What does that mean for Pollard? What does that mean for Carnell Tate? Like, Corey Levin got in there, something clicked. They played snow football in Cleveland, and from that point on, they just kind of, and players would talk about it to us, like, they just kind of embraced it. Like, this is who we need to be.
Stayed in it.
We need to be a run-first team. We need to be an AFC Central team in 2025. So can you carry that over under new management in 26? We'll see.
They, I heard Zach Lyons say it the other day as I was listening to them, and we know this, and we speak about it as players, and on this show as well. Like, the one thing that you're asking for is the hardest thing to get in the NFL. Wins and losses is a thing, okay, but consistency is the hardest. 1 week from the other can be skewed because your right guard is injured or your left tackle is out. Or maybe the quarterback's got a groin issue going on.
Or the other team has a game wrecker like Myles Garrett.
You know?
Which totally changes the entire game plan on the offensive line and run game part of it.
Exactly. And I guess the ultimate part of being a fan of an NFL team is what we're speaking about when it comes to these lists. How many of those guys can you get on the top 100, no matter where they are? How many are top 10 in their position?
Well, I care less about who's actually on the NFL 100, more so than like who really earned it.
But my thing, the point I'm making is not who earned it, but like you got to have stars at each level in this league to compete and be consistent.
Sure.
And that's where I feel like the lacking has been as of late. Whether you miss out on draft picks, whether bad free agent signings and stuff like that. Like, I get it. Nobody knew L'Jarius Sneed would be that. Heck, nobody knew that not Questenberry, what was the last center?
Cushenberry. Lloyd Cushenberry. Back up in Buffalo.
Was actually pretty good. But nobody knew Lloyd Cushenberry was going to tear his Achilles and not continually get better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the Titans are going to be better at center this year than they were last year.
You like this one, don't you, Slody?
It's more just about what Lloyd gave them, with all due respect, last year.
I get that.
As quickly as he came off the Achilles injury.
For sure.
I think you saw how much better things could be when Corey Levin came in there for a couple games. Like, okay.
There is a level up. Fully get that.
I think so. I think that's why this offensive line might be a little better.
The consistency, though, starts with the elevation of the 53. Like, that's where it starts at. And that's what you're hoping. We look at the running back room, wide receiver room, heck, the secondary and D-line. There's competition where guys going to have to be, they got to be hyenas. They simply do. They got to be like wild dogs about how they go hunt each and every day. I'm not sure if you've ever seen National Geographic Wild Dogs Hunt. They are menaces.
Pops up on the algorithm from time to time.
They tear you apart, and that's the way these competitions have to be.
Sure. It goes back to a point you've made time and time again this offseason, that Cam is not the leading man yet.
No.
Cam Ward is a supporting actor in this show, if this show is the best show that it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be okay. We're not insulting Cam Ward by saying that. We're setting him up in the best way to be successful. There is no quarterback in the world who gets worse from a run game that's really good. No quarterback in the world.
Right.
Every passing game is made better if you can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a diss at Cam to say that he needs to be a supporting actor in this show right now. This can still be a run-first offense, and that could get the best out of Cam Ward statistically. And it also may protect him because all of a sudden you become less predictable and you run better on first and second down. And when you're in 3rd and 4, I can run or I can throw. I don't have as much I've got to do. I don't have to go so far down the field, obviously, to complete these third downs. Because that's a major, major thing they've got to improve on, is sustaining more drives, helping their defense, and even if you don't end the drive with points, can you at least get a couple of first downs and not go 3 and out so many times that your defense has just sat on the bench and now they're back up, putting their helmets on, ready to go again. Especially as many snaps and, as aggressively as this defense is going to play. Like, they're going to need some time.
For sure. And the other side of it, though, too, is the special team side. Seeing more out of Chimray, I think, was going to be huge. Where else is the help is going to come as far as field positioning and the defense, giving the offense good field position? That is the one challenge that I have in mind for this defense this year. You're young and a lot of new parts over there. It's easier, in my opinion, to outfit a defense with new guys than it is with an offense, considering you're still supporting Cam with him learning and growing in this league with the new OC and offense as well.
Interesting.
Defense has, in my opinion, and I think they're okay with this, they should be, they have the hardest challenge easily this year. And from them, I think special teams. I think offense is the third when it comes down to this challenge that they have to in making this team better this year.
If they get play from their 2 free agent corners, Alante Taylor and Cordell Flott, that is equal to or better than what those 2 players were at different teams last year.
Yeah.
I think this is a good defense. I think it hinges on that.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to get pressure on the quarterback.
For sure.
I think they're deeper at linebacker. Still a little bit concerned about safety, but nowhere close to how concerned I am about offensive line. If they get the same or better play from their 2 free agent corners, I think this is at worst a league average defense. That's, again, easier said than done. Not a guarantee that you're just automatically going to keep getting better at corner for those 2 players, but I think it hinges on that and the big investment that they made in those 2 players, plus the faith they are showing in Marcus Harris to step into the nickel role as a second-year player.
Oh, facts.
Brent Hubbs was on the show earlier this morning in hour number 2. You can get that full discussion wherever you download podcasts as always. And we asked him about the latest on David Gabriel Georges, who is 12 days away from committing to, we believe, and many others believe, either Tennessee or Ohio State. This was Brent Hubbs earlier this morning on the Baylor School 5-star running back that Tennessee is in the mix with right now.
Yeah, I think the latest is what's the uncle going to say next,
right?
Because David doesn't talk. And David, made it very clear on Twitter that he hasn't said anything. But the uncle made it clear he's made a decision and that he's comfortable with his decision. He's not sharing that decision with anybody. Our position on it has kind of been where it's at. I think Tennessee's always been in this better than some national people thought. I think some national people have come around to the idea that this thing is, Tennessee's a legit player and can legitimately get him in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. I think, again, Tennessee's put their best foot forward. I think there's better relationships at Tennessee than some of the national people initially realized and understood, and those relationships are with former high school teammates that he played with. I think he's comfortable with the coaching staff. I think Darrell Sims has done a good job. I think there's other Tennessee influence, obviously, in and around that area down there that knows him, and I think all those things help Tennessee. He likes Coach Loughlin, the running backs coach at Ohio State, the tradition at Ohio State. All of those things are a factor there. But I do think Tennessee's done a really nice job. And I think Ohio State, I don't want to say he's playing catch-up, but I think you've seen some moves that they've made that tells you they feel like that this thing is maybe more – they may be in danger of losing him more than they thought they were going to be, a month ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, that type of thing.
Interesting. Not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination, but that last thing that Brent says there is, I think, new information this morning.
Going over on my little turn.
Ron Slay is here. No, we have 30-second breaks today, so we're not cutting into your time at all.
Yeah, look at my dog.
It's a Friday. Interesting there that Ohio State is looking at some other options at running back. We'll let these two say hello to each other. We'll let Ron Slay get in front of a microphone coming up next.
Boy, back.
That is Ron Slay's music on Ramon Will. You get Brent Hubbs, you get Ron Slay, you get every interview, every conversation, all of my bad jokes, all of the rants, all the real analysis that Ramon does wherever you download podcasts at 10 a.m. each and every morning. Just heard Brent Hubbs a minute ago, Slay, saying some good things I think Tennessee fans will like about David Gabriel Georges.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm all in on that.
Hot on that.
Said that Ohio State is maybe starting to look at some contingency plans at running back that maybe they weren't pursuing a month ago or 2 weeks ago.
Beautiful.
Far from done, not over, but people are liking where Tennessee is on that recruitment. Have you watched him play?
I saw clips of him. I've never watched the entire game. I was like catch a half, and I'm like, I done seen enough. He's that dude.
Yeah.
But I know he comes to town this year. They play at Innsworth for sure.
Yes, they do.
So
That's right.
I'm gonna try to be in that one.
There's, I think,
personally.
words circulating that BA Baylor game week 1 may be nationally televised
Where is
in
that?
Chattanooga.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We might have to take a road trip for that one.
That's gonna,
Fan.
especially like his announcement will be out before then too. So,
July 22nd.
Yeah.
22nd.
I just didn't. I don't like when. I wish he would have did it. That's during SEC Media Day.
Are y'all going again?
Yeah, we're going.
Tampa? Okay.
But that's
so
on
that'll be
a
while y'all are
Wednesday
there.
or Thursday.
I think that's right. And
One of the
Tennessee
two.
speaks the 20th. So,
Yeah, so they're on
Hype will
Monday.
have already done the car wash.
Yeah, I wish it was because that's just still some thunder.
A couple years ago, Mike Matthews committed while we were at SEC Media Days in Nashville.
I was big. Like, so this is my thing, man. With him, I talked about it on our show. You got to be able to go nail these guys that are going to get up in that top tier. You don't get to that top tier without it, man. I'm sorry.
Totally agree.
I'm sorry. You just don't. Like the teams that separate themselves, they got those guys.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? And they constantly show up. You got to be able to have them, man. This is important for Hyper as well. Like you've been able to go get the receivers. You got the 5-star guys. Like we ain't seen it all the way churn just yet, but they there.
They are.
We just got to see them produce. You know what I mean? The Keys, the Smith Jr., Mike Matthews, one of them. You know what I mean? You getting a diamond in the rough with Staley. Faison, like that's your second 5-star quarterback coming in. So, and you know what you get back there, the running back. But those teams that sustain or even start greatness are the ones that continuously. That's why Ohio State is who Ohio State is, man. They continuously go. Like, look at that receiver, that 7-year stretch of receivers that they had over and over. Talking to Carnell Tate, we was like, dog, you were deep on the depth chart, but you were deep on the depth chart because you were top 10 picks in front of you.
I know. And there's another one that's about to be maybe a top 2 pick.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith for next year.
I guess a difference, man. That makes a difference when you get to those times, man, and especially in that system, that box get light.
It does.
It ain't what we doing.
Yep.
Give you the box. Go home. Go home. Man, BET for me. Go home, man.
Well,
Get your head on the goalpost.
Speaking of Tristan Keys and Tennessee, have y'all been to Adidas.com this morning?
I'm on there right now. You know what?
Seems like you
I'll
would.
show you.
know
Hold on.
what?
Seems
Real
like you
quick.
would be.
Visual aid here.
There's 2 things real quick, Will.
And he got a new computer.
I do got a new comp over here.
Did you? I didn't see that.
I see it.
Adidas.com homepage.
Tristan Keys.
Tristan Keys is right on it.
Big time.
There's probably a lot of people around the world looking for a Lamine Yamal jersey or a Messi jersey. Like, who is this guy?
Learn balls.
There's people in Argentina and Spain that are like, Kien?
Yeah.
What is Big Orange country?
Let you know what NIL
2
means.
things. One, I love the sheriff, who's been I think, traditional Nike guy all his life.
Yeah.
He was Reebok, I think, for a little while, too. Intro, they had to go big. If they signed Peyton, awesome. I would have loved to have seen
Never dope.
you.
Darn. Like I've been drinking all
Up
night.
and over.
That's the bourbon last night. Just saying.
If they could have put you in that thing with the headband on.
Yeah.
Your voiceover was awesome.
Yeah.
The
The
video was
voiceover was
really
appreciate
good.
it.
And he snuck that in
Really
on
good.
us, Will.
I
He didn't
know.
give anybody a yee call
Crazy.
or nothing
Hey,
on that
man.
one,
Crazy.
man.
Listen, they kind of snuck it on my desk, man. It was like, hey, man, if you can hold on to this, just hold on.
It was so hard.
You know what I mean? My dog was out of town, so I ain't had nothing. You wasn't calling me. We wasn't having our daily meetings.
I was
My
gone.
boy was out of there.
I was gonna go.
So I was like, yeah. It was, but that was cool, man. That was pretty dope. Like, that was super cool. I was like, man, that picture, I got a picture. You know what I mean? With the headband on. I still got the jersey and everything, which I want to do. But couldn't get up there, so we did the voiceovers.
I want to see them go to some of the jersey looks in basketball from the teams that you were on with like the colonial font and the way that it is arched over it. A dark mode version of that or the off-white being like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The difference, though, too, in you guys' and our era jersey with Adidas was it felt heavy.
Y'all's look big.
They were heavy.
It looked like
y'all, I don't think this generation of Adidas is that heavy as ours were.
It looks the exact same as the Nike.
We were trapping sweat, man.
It used to be that way.
Y'all's was bad, dog.
Oh,
it was some heavy jerseys and bigger jerseys.
And big jerseys, too, man.
Yeah, I second that right there. I think it's good though. I think the part that a lot of fans get lost too is who has the creative control, and that was one of the things Tennessee talked about, like them still having creative control over it. You know what I mean? Just being with Adidas, so you get the last say. That's cool. You designing what you want to design. You know what I mean? You can't put them jerseys on like basketball. If y'all saw with Texas A&M when they came with the solid color, it looked horrific. I was like,
terrible.
That was a bad look by Adidas right there.
Terrible.
They did it to Louisville, too.
They did it to Louisville,
and
too.
Kansas.
Yeah, like it was, that wasn't it.
That was my most viral tweet ever. Remember that? I tweeted out a picture of those A&M jerseys. I got to find this thing. I said, I am dead serious when I say this. This is the single worst uniform I've ever seen in any college or pro sport. And it got 5 million views and 77,000 likes. People in the replies just roasting Adidas.
Yeah, that was a bad look right there. That was a bad look.
I don't want those to touch us.
Nah,
I don't think they're going to either.
Yeah, I give the creative team up there in Knoxville a little bit more credit. You know what I mean? Than what they're going to be doing. So
I got a sports question for you.
Talk to me.
You have been
sports show.
Yeah, I know, right? It's Friday in the summertime. We do what we want to now. You've been all around the world.
Absolutely.
Literally and figuratively, and you've known all around the world. The World Cup is electric.
Oh, here we go. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I couldn't wait for this conversation.
Let's go.
It's electric, Savage. I saw this morning, man, looking at Kylian Mbappe's pathway to become who he is, and he is so elite.
Yeah.
None of this happens without talent.
Stud.
But, like, he went to a soccer school development, and then he got invited to Real Madrid. Which one?
He was at Real Madrid. He spent most of his time at Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
PSG.
And 11 years old, he got invited.
Yeah.
Basketball here versus soccer over there, or football here versus soccer over there. Where are we missing the gap? How will we, if we'll ever get close? Will said a second, we'll never have an Mbappe over here.
Never. So
as an American.
So this is my thing. This is what I was saying. I think it was Monday or Tuesday when y'all was having the conversation.
Tuesday. I was
like,
Tuesday.
man, in our lifetime, I can't see it happening, us making it to the Final Four.
Of soccer,
the
the
U.S.
World
national team. Now, I preface that by saying, do I believe MLS will grow? It's no question. This right here, this event helps it to grow to that point.
Right.
To be able to see, like, they do kind of understand it over there. Let's go. And there's some more opportunities over there to kind of boast ourselves instead of the team. You know what I mean? When you talk about individual players, but MLS is young. We're not. You know, when I say in our lifetime, if I can get 65 more
For
years,
sure. I agree with that.
I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, but that's 110, 115 years old. You know what I mean? So when I say in my lifetime, that's what I'm meaning. Is it gonna ever happen? It will at some point, but in our lifetime, I just say it's hard because of opportunities like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have something tangible to, you know what I mean, connect to and say, turn. We can't do that. What we provided for everybody else in the world who had already been playing basketball, now related to basketball because I understand it a little bit more.
Sure.
We provided a launching pad or something tangible for people to see. Like, oh, whoa, this is what it looks like?
Doing. Yeah.
Whoa, this is Jordan, this is Magic, this is Larry Bird. Like, it means something when you come out of the tunnel and you don't even go to warm up. You go take pictures with the guys.
Right.
Yeah.
That right there, it exploded the global game of basketball. They were already over there hooping. They got stars and historians and all of that, but the game has been around a long time over there. That's not our first, second, third option over here. That's their first option over there. I heard about PSG when I was in Shalom Reams getting to it like who is P? And
they got a football club too?
You know what I mean? Me as an outsider, I'm sitting there like, what? Like, why y'all going crazy about this? And then the players are breaking down in the locker room like, dog, you don't understand what they got going on. Like,
And that was before they got bought by essentially a country.
yes, exactly.
That was before they got all the Saudi oil money.
I say that so it's already bubbling. That's what they do.
That's what. Yeah.
That's not what we do. This I thought was an opportunity to advance with your star. How you say his name?
Christian Pulisic.
Pulisic.
Yeah.
That was the
Awful
opportunity. You needed him to be the guy to spearhead it. You had a great opportunity. Now you don't have anything tangible. Like, who's the next one coming along? We can't point to it. We can look at these. We can look at these other countries and be like, okay, I do see this guy. Just like you talked about the school them going and developing. I see this guy, and that's tangible for me to be like, okay, that's what I'm going to be like when I grow up.
We're going to grab him.
Yeah. And I believe the younger talent, like y'all talked about, it is definitely coming along. And if you hear one of them talk about it, you like, okay, maybe I need to start paying attention to this a little bit.
Sure.
But it's a big old world that we talking about for the game, not just here in the U.S. MLS, that's why I say MLS is definitely going to grow. What is it, 30 years old, 35 years old, something like that?
Yeah.
Dog, it's going to definitely grow, but you look at the other parts, how long they've been playing over there?
Yeah.
The World Cup been around since 1930. You know what I'm saying? And you look at Brazil, they got something tangible. Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? Then you go Ronaldo over in Portugal. You know what I mean? You go Mbappe with France. You know what I'm saying? You go Spain. You go all these Argentina, Messi and all. It's something tangible to spearhead them and get them going.
Sure.
We lost, I feel, we lost what was tangible to say this was the opportunity to spark it. It's like what Pac said. I might not be the one to make the change, but I'll damn sure be the one to spark the change.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Here's what I think is interesting, and here's where I think your argument can be used to actually strengthen my point as well, that it is only going to get better. And listen, like the way that game ended Monday, all of the good feelings around this tournament are totally gone. It ended as a failure.
Gone.
It did.
I'm saying.
No question.
I'm an optimist.
And you know I am too.
It's hard for me to believe.
The good thing that happened is that now, according to Fox yesterday, 50 million people in America watched USA Belgium. Wow. That is, and let me find the exact tweet. I retweeted it last night. 50 million people watched USA Belgium. 46.7 watched Mexico England.
Yeah.
Not even us.
Yeah.
Those are the most watched non-NFL sporting events in the United States since the 94 Winter Olympics. Where I think you are 100% right is that MLS is only going to get better.
Yeah.
What I think that means, though, for the United States is that the youth academies and the development of young American talent is also only going to get better.
I can dig that.
A big reason why we are relevant on the world stage right now is less about Christian Pulisic, a player that moved to Germany when he was 14, 15, Malik Tillman, who's lived in Germany his whole life, Serginho Dest, who's been in the Netherlands. A lot of it is because of Weston McKennie, who was in the FC Dallas Youth Academy, that has been one of the proving grounds. So was Chris Richards. So was Walker Zimmerman, former NSC captain at one point. Tyler Adams playing for the New York Red Bulls. For Canada, Alphonso Davies being identified by the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah. And
going from there and then at a young age to Bayern Munich. There is no world in which MLS gets better and that doesn't also make the United States better and deeper.
Okay.
Now, deeper is, I think, a floor raiser. I'm not sure that's a ceiling raiser. The question can still be asked, how do we enter that top 8 and that top 4? Because right now, we can create more good players, but you're only going to get so far until you have a great player, until you have that guy to lead you.
There you go.
And I think in soccer, too, you see it. And again, if you go to a Nashville SC game, you're going to see Hani Mukhtar do it. And in moments where Nashville SC is struggling, you will see Hani run to the back line and say, give me the ball. I'm going to lead this attack.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need him to do that. But like he's the one, again, I said it Tuesday, take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
I'm the quarterback of this attack. Follow me. Let's go. Christian Pulisic is not that player.
Okay.
And we've got to stop expecting him to be that player. He's not that player for his club at Milan.
Right.
He would be if he was in MLS, but he's not an MLS.
Right.
He is a third option who benefits from the attention on Rafael Leao, the Portuguese winger who's playing for them, and other guys at AC Milan. I will give you, though, the name to remember because there is a record player who right now I believe is 16 years old for the Philadelphia Union in MLS. Manchester City purchased Kevin Sullivan for $5 million at 14 years old from Philadelphia.
Yep.
He will go to Manchester City when he's 18. at a $5 million transfer.
Yeah.
That's the kind of example I'm talking about. As we develop better 14, 15, 16-year-olds, a lot of the best ones are going to go to Europe when they are 15, 16, 17, 18. Sebastian Berhalter is probably about to make that move next. I know I'm rambling, but I promise you that I'm finishing up my point.
Yeah.
I think that's where we have to make an investment, and we have to trust that as Major League Soccer switches to a different schedule and now opens itself up for European free agents and can make way more money and build bigger and better stadiums and youth academies, it's only going to make the national team better. That's a really long-term focus.
There you go.
But that's where I have to find optimism right now.
And I'm with you on that. My whole thing is, I remember back in the 2000s, maybe it had to be early 2000s. I forgot the young black kid.
Freddie Adu.
Okay, from D.C.
Yeah. Yep. Got milk posters across every school in the country.
So that was the springboard. So when you say what you say, Will, I am saying just like a lot of, like y'all just said, it's got to be hoping that somewhere. Tajay Spears, when people saying there's a broken record, it's almost like the same thing. Like, okay, I've heard this story before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I do want to see it happen, and that's why I said MLS. I'm negate anything I'm talking about when it comes to MLS. I'm talking about the world. Do I think we'll see the 8 reached? Yes.
Right.
That Final Four, that's a different animal. And the reason I say that, just because of what you just said, when you look in Europe and you look in these other countries, you know who the best players on, and I'm going back to basketball, the best players are on those teams? The Americans. They go poach 2 Americans that may not have made it to the NBA or had a 2-year run in the NBA, and the best players in those countries are the league guys, coupled by the other, if it's Italy, the other Italians, the top-notch Italians. You know what I mean? So you get 3 or 4 teams like that, and you put it together.
Yep.
So when you're able to do that here in MLS, that's fine. But once you go to the world game, the difference is that's what they grow up on. It's
a way of life.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
100%.
And that's all I'm saying.
We raise their profile over there through basketball.
No question.
They raise ours by sending Messi over here.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Or but you get Messi on his
retirement years.
And that's what gets the headline.
Yeah.
Those players get the headlines at MLS, and rightfully so. Like Antoine Griezmann, who's a French World Cup winner, just joined
they need
Orlando.
to boast the league, too.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where I think MLS, though, doesn't get enough credit is now you're starting to see more players in their early 20s start their careers here and then go. Like Miguel Almiron started for Paraguay on the wing.
Yeah.
Made a big move for $20 million to Newcastle from Atlanta United.
Yeah.
Thiago Almada played in the Argentina game the other day. Again, another Atlanta United player who was young, purchased it in the transfer market from South America, comes over and then makes a big move to Italy or to France. Or like there are more of those stories that I think aren't getting told on the ESPN top headlines because they don't have name recognition. But it's not as much of a retirement league as it used to be. Those guys just get the attention.
Right. But under the cover, when you look at if I go to Italy, it's okay for me to go talk to the consulate and be like, okay, they want me on their national team. Why can't the U.S. do that? Because that's the over the hump. Macedonia does it all the time. Spain does it all the time. Like the Americans that over there playing in Barcelona and Madrid, like hey man, we need you. You want to play? I got an extra $2 million.
We are doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Fuller and Balogun played for England growing up.
It's got to be like that. That's the only way you can skip the line.
Yunus Musa was at the last World Cup. He has English nationality. So right now, of this team that played, Anthony Robinson could play for England. Malik Tillman could play for Germany. Fuller and Balogun could play for England. Serginho Dest could play for the Netherlands. Okay. And that's just the starters. You've got more that weren't even starting in this game that,
I'm just saying
that could also play for other
passport
countries.
swap out thing is real.
It is very real.
I never had one.
It is.
Yeah, I wish I would have did it. My career, I would have got 5-6 more years.
Well, just like the World Baseball Classic, too. Like Andrew Fisher, the UT first baseman, was playing for Italy in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah. He's from Jersey and has like Italian grandparents.
I do remember that.
Like dive in.
And World Baseball Classic is very loose with it because it's such an American, Latin American, and Asian dominated sport. But no, I think it's a good discussion. I mean, like the way I have to look at it is if you told me 10 years ago Indiana was going to win a football championship, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah. Right.
Like we don't know what the sport's going to look like in 20 years.
And mind you, keep in mind, I continuously say this is not including MLS.
Right.
Because you can
Yeah,
see
no,
the boom,
for
you
sure.
can see the growth.
I just think MLS makes us so much better
I'm with
because
that.
you're identifying better talent
with
at
that.
younger ages that can play
There's
for
plenty out there.
MLS youth academies. 100%.
Went out there, no question.
And you always get the comment like, "Well, our best athletes don't play soccer." A lot of Europe's best athletes don't play soccer.
they don't.
The best player of all time is 5'6", 120. His name is Lionel Messi. The second best player of all time is 5'8", probably 130. His name is Pele. Xavi, Iniesta. These guys they
America
walk
boom.
by you on the sidewalk, and you would never
South
think
America
they're
boom.
professional athletes.
Yeah.
Athleticism is important. It is far from the most important
But
thing.
you
in that
see
sport.
what a star does for a small country like Portugal.
And Norway right now.
Norway,
I mean, they're
same
going to play
thing. Y'all
England
keep- y'all
tomorrow.
keep talking about 'em.
Erling
Yeah,
Haaland, who also could play for England. He was born in Leeds. His dad was playing in the Premier League. and
superhero.
Could play for England. It's so funny. He's a villain in the Premier League. It's so funny watching him become a sympathetic figure because I hate him, and now I'm kind of liking him a little
That's
bit.
all I'm saying. We got to have somebody to.
We got to have that.
We need
And
that.
those come along. I mean, for Norway, they've never had that.
Dude, we like Argentina. They've had what,
I know.
3, 2, 3? Like that's it. Brazil, as cold as they are,
They've had the most.
3, 4. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So what happened?
They have
Freddie,
one
at
per
the-
generation,
yeah, there you go.
and Brazil does.
But that's why, because it was a Pele.
Yeah.
Things like that.
What happened to Freddie Adu? Watch.
That's what I
watch
want,
that.
like,
It was hot, and then
'Cause
it wasn't.
he was the coldest
He
thing
was
moving.
like
He
he was. I
was.
think it was my class, if I'm not mistaken, too. Like,
I
it was
remember.
around that 04 era, and he was on every milk
Yes,
poster.
he
He was
was.
on
He was.
all the television spots. Like,
Coldest thing moving.
he was. I think him and D Train from the pitcher with the Marlins,
Dontrell Willis.
Dontrell
Dontrell
Willis,
Willis,
like the two hottest young stars in that era at the time, man, which is insane to me that I can remember.
I don't know. He went to a lot of different leagues. Like American players for a lot of other leagues now are almost seen as marketing ploys more so than they are contributors. Like
Okay.
Get it?
like Christian Pulisic's marketing value to AC Milan, and Lucas can speak to this better because that's his favorite team. That's his club in Italy, but his value is so much what he brings them in jersey sales and attention and American television marketing interest as much as it is actually playing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the challenging thing. And then like these Americans go these places and fans are on their neck
Yeah.
if they don't
Ain't no
immediately
question.
perform because you
Really?
haven't built up that level of equity because
question.
they don't like we've got to earn a lot more respect around the world. And unfortunately, the Belgium game did not do us any favors. And the Balogun political intervention really hurt, set
And
us
it's in
back in that
everything.
department. Yeah, like you've got to go above and beyond to earn their respect as an American soccer player in England, France, Germany, Italy, or Spain.
Because that's where it's different. Like it trickles down to the other sport. Like when I first went over to Turkey, I played for Galatasaray and then I had no idea what it meant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until
Those crowds are
we
crazy.
walked out of practice, out our practice facility, and looked back there in the back at their soccer facility. It was like, oh, what?
That's one of the biggest clubs in the world.
What is
too.
this?
Yeah.
Really? You know
They're
what I'm
still
saying?
huge.
Man, we
Them,
driving our clothes on the line.
Besiktas. Yeah.
They driving by in Ferraris. Come on, y'all. What we doing? You feel me? It's a different. No, I'm telling you, it's different. My first introduction in Italy was Inter versus AC. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's different.
And they share the same stadium, which they're about to tear down, which is a
different.
travesty.
Yeah,
Y'all
they
throwing
They're tearing
clothes
down
over
the San Siro.
clothesline?
No, what? Where I dry at, man?
I love it.
I went back out to do rehab one time. I was like, dog got whirlpools in here. What we doing?
More with Ron Slay coming up next. I want to know what your reps are telling you about this Tennessee basketball team that started to practice a little bit. We'll do that with Slay coming up next. Wrapping up the show and week this morning on Ramon and Will. Buck Rising, Robert Walsh have you covered up next. Ron Slay hanging out with us.
Yeah.
What are your reps, as you like to say, telling you about this Tennessee basketball team, which has had some open practices in front of the media and are looking as advertised, I would say, so far?
Yeah, I think, like you said, they look good. I'm going to get up there hopefully in next week.
Nice.
And try to catch some practices. But from what I'm seeing, man, you got people that's embracing their role.
Yeah.
Terrence Hill Jr. look like he's going to be the point. Day Ames is going to be that. If you try to, talk about who they are in terms of the past teams, I can see Day Ames like that Lamonte Turner. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean?
Love
guy
that.
coming off the bench that's explosive, get some points in. Juke Harris. Juke Harris. Just go get a bucket. You know,
Yeah.
Get out the way. I'm interested to see in person, not hear from anybody, what Dwayne Brown looks like, what the guy Rubin looks like. All of these bigs. That's going to be, I think, the telltale sign for me. Because one thing you got to do, I think everybody's going to strap up and play defense. You got to be able to rebound. I do like, I think it's Jalen Harrelson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that dude right there, I think he can be a problem. I think he can be a second-team all-SEC guy, you know what I'm saying, regardless if he starts or not. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just because he does so many intangible things, and from handling the ball to defending, okay shot, but being able to get to the rim and get to the foul line, man, it gives you versatility. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I think they're in a great spot. They feel comfortable. They feel confident. Gotta beware. Texas is making moves, man.
Marcus Pierce Jr. signed it yesterday, reclassifying.
That's huge.
Big time.
That's huge. And,
He ready?
Yeah. He ready.
Say less.
He ready.
They were already probably a top 10 team even without him, right?
Yeah, and keep in mind, the rule will be in effect. Your clock starts at 19.
So he's trying to beat it.
So he got to be there 2 years. Still can't leave until you're 19.
Yes, gotcha.
17.
Oh, wow.
So that's great for Sean Miller. You know what I'm saying? To just show you Marcus Spears and his wife, man, they ties. You know, their daughter played at Texas volleyball. Yeah, so went right there. That was huge. I know Kentucky thought they were about to get him. Yeah. They got to figure it out.
That's what Kentucky does now.
They do got Mo Williams up there. Mo Williams been working, but it's gonna be interesting in the league, man. It's gonna be a very fun year, man. When it comes to basketball, I think everything you're getting from football, the uncertainty outside of the top 3 or 4, you know what I mean, and where everybody else will shake out. I think it's the same thing in basketball when you look at football.
I saw this from Ryan Shumpert, who wrote earlier this week on Twitter. He said, Dwayne Brown is as important as anyone on Tennessee's roster and was arguably the best player on the court during Tuesday's practice. Tennessee consistently used Brown as a facilitator, both off the short roll and with his back to the basket.
I like that. I like that because I mean, when teams are playing Tennessee, especially being guard heavy, sometimes it'll be a 4-round-1 situation where he's the big that's out there, and being able to make the decisions after them jumping up and trapping or switching, giving him the ball and him being confident in making the decision. I thought last year in the tournament, and leading up to the tournament, a lot of times he caught it at the free throw line and he was in question. Should he throw the lob? Should he shoot it? Should he get it back out and go pick and roll? Dude, be aggressive. Be aggressive in making your decision. And, man, if he get that little 15-footer, look out. Because he got a great IQ and great hands, feet, you know what I mean, know how to work angles. I like the big fella, man. It could be good.
Look at him. The fact that he's that reserved.
That tells me all I need to know.
Everything you need to know.
I got to sit with my ass, but it could be good.
When you crank up?
Man, I don't crank up.
and ESPN, I mean.
It ain't till about October.
Okay. So we got time.
I mean, yeah, we got time. October, I think, is media day, somewhere around now. And then early November, late October, it'll be time to get busy.
This is as much excitement as I can remember being around a Tennessee basketball team in July that I can ever remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the key part, too, though, is everybody knowing. I was talking to CeeLo about this, Chris Lowe. Like, everybody knowing that what's at stake. Like, nobody's saying, like, man, okay, we're going to go out there, we're going to be our own team. No, dude, y'all got put together, the Final Four or bust. It ain't nothing else about it. All right, SEC championship, cool. If you can get that tournament, if you can get that, cool. you have to go to the Final Four. That's what the bar is. That's why y'all were put together. That's why the money was spent. And it feels like guys are not shying away from that. They know what the mission is. They just got to go out there and complete it.
Of the guys that's on these summer league teams, who's got the best opportunity?
Ooh, Kobe been balling.
Chad's still good.
Oh yeah, Chaz is good. Jemiah's found his spot.
When can Dalton get out of L.A.?
Yesterday. Get out of there yesterday, dog. Like, please get that man a fresh start.
Really?
See, it's stuff like that people get lost in the shuffle, man, of all the foolishness. Them trying to trade him to Charlotte. That didn't go through. He had to come back.
They didn't want him.
It's just
That's a great way to put it.
It's just silly, man. Like, he's got to get somewhere where he can play, man, because dude put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he got to get his little feet a little quicker and play a little defense. But there's a lot of people that can't play defense. Yeah.
Just one big game. He's had big games.
No, he had big games. He need opportunity. He need opportunity.
Ron Slay, 3 to 6 on 3HL. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Appreciate it, Savage.
Ramon
Man,
Foster.
month of moons, man.
My guy.
It's our first 5-day work week in a little while. So next week we'll have our first 5-day work week together since the first week of June.
Brandon.
I know, right?
Looking forward
Getting
to
it. But good people, y'all know how it goes on Fridays, man. Call your people, reach out to them, man. Y'all know it's hot out here. It's raining. There's storms everywhere, man. Have a random conversation with somebody. We're enjoying this World Cup. Let's have a world peace, people, okay? How about that for a change, all right? We're more alike than we are apart. I don't care how much they, and we know who they all are, try to divide us, man. But peace, love, and hair grease. See you.